Yes, welcome back again after that short commercial break. I think our link was not working properly. We are not connected to our YouTube channels. Now we are back. We are live on Tembe YouTube channel. And of course, we are on True Talk TV, also live broadcasting this particular session. Earlier on, we had Alex in the studio. Alex, I believe now you can log in and come back to the studio as we discuss and we deliberate on what really happened today. We have been talking about the fanatism in soccer. Today, Shabana FC won the Super League in Gusii Stadium. They beat Kisumu Allstars by 2 goals to 0. Congratulations to Shabana FC. Congratulations to the management of the teams. And congratulations again to the county government of Kisii, starting from the previous county government that organized this wonderful powerhouse that has been missing in soccer for a very long time. So Shabana is back in the FKF League, and we are going to see a lot of sports tourism coming into Gusii land. There'll be a lot of revenue, a lot of hotels will be booked when Kisii, when Gor Mahia is playing Shabana, or Shabana is playing FC Leopards. This is a good thing for the county government of Kisii, and they should embrace the team and ensure that the team participates in the FKF League, which is very, very expensive. The FKF League is one of the most expensive leagues, such that the team have to travel. They're traveling teams. They have to go to Nairobi and play Gor Mahia, and Gor Mahia, vice versa, has to go to various counties to play these other teams. And for one thing, Alex, you've seen how tribe can be used positively. Tribe can be used negatively in politics, but tribe can be used positively in sports, especially in sports and entertainment. We love our music. We love our tradition. I've seen Ongengo performing. I've not seen you attending Ongengo performance in the US. That has been a very big
Actually, I
thing.
did. I did. I had
Oh,
to.
you did.
I had to.
Sometimes I don't understand what Ongengo sings about, but it is a complete contrast to what my community called music. So, but that is culture. That's how culture is diverse. We see Kisi community enjoying their music, Merians enjoying their music, Kikuyus the same, Kambas enjoying their music, and we also enjoy our Hangla music. So that is very, very important. Now in sports, back in sports, Shabana is in the league, the FKF league. What are your expectations of Shabana FC now that they have been promoted to FKF league?
It's a very good nostalgia because it reminds me, of uh, previously when Shabana, AFC, Gor Mahia, and was it breweries
Mm-hmm.
used to play, and how our soccer fields used to be filled to the brim, and how actually how, as you said, tribe could be used to in a positive way to send a positive cultural message, not only in terms of culture but also in terms of can we say patriotism.
Mm-hmm.
So it takes us back to what maybe other people have not experienced, especially the born free generation of 2002 when Kibaki came into power. One of the only places where Kenyans used to express themselves freely and happily was in the soccer fields. Otherwise, tulikuwa tumefinywa kila mahali. But when it came to sports, I think that is one place that if you look back, if you reincarnate yourself back to the time, you could see the moments whereby probably when Breweries won, when AFC won, when Gormaya won, or when Shabana won, how ecstatic used to be. Not only that, the funny part was you could find that the outsourcing of players, whereby Gormaya will want to win the national championship, and what they do is that they could go shopping their players from Shabana. And Shabana actually could have more Luo players than Kisi players at some point. And yet Shabana used to be a Kisi team. And also Gormaya, we used to take it as a Nyanza team. So the fun part of it is you could have a team, but yet you could have other players from other community play for you without prejudice and without tribalism. Unlike Europe, whereby you still play for somebody, and if you're black, they still have to sing, monkey songs for you. So I mean, it was such a good thing to see that, and many people forget that soccer, in as much as this team were tribal, it was only for the fanatical base. But when it came for players, at some point you could find Shabana having more Luo players, Gormaya having a few Kisi players, so on and so forth.
Yeah, I mean, that's a good history and a good analysis of how we have come a long way in soccer. I remember the big names like Michael Koth, were born in Shabana, were born in Itirio down there. The big names like Henry Motego, uh, Chris Nyandoro,
Nyandoro, man. Aye.
Nyandoro. Those are guys who are born in Kisi, and I've never seen a very strong Premier League player like Henry Motego. I've never, and for a very long time, me and my friend Matthew Ottobox, we used to argue about the size of players because I find him very skinny. And when they meet the Nigerians or they meet people from West Africa generally, or North Africa, when they meet the Moroccans, you'll find I mean, it's a big contrast. So what we urge FKF and many other coaches, if we want to have a strong team, then we need to improve on our physique as players for Kenya, because that is again the greatest impediment when it comes to meeting these other big players like the North Africans and the West Africans. We have very tiny, small players who are not muscled enough. So football is about power, and football should go tribal. That is the only thing that I advocate, that football should go tribal and regional for that matter. If we maintain the boundaries that we used to have, the 8 provinces that we used to have, then I believe Central should have its own strong Kikuyu team, but not necessarily Kikuyus playing in that, but they form majority of the players. That again generates a lot of income to the youths who are interested in sports in those particular areas. You find a youth in Central is so limited. He can't come all the way to Kisi and look for a club. He or she must be exceptionally good so that to be accommodated in Gormaya or to be accommodated in Shabana or to be accommodated in FC Leopards. So football should go regional, how the counties can structure, because they have a budget. The county governments have a budget that can run these leagues effectively. So we urge FKF FKF to liaise with the county governments, because each and every sitting in the assembly, there is money allocated for sports. Money allocated for sports. This money should go to sports development countrywide through our counties. Those are how county governments should be structured. Sports is also a revenue source for the county government. For example, now in Kisi, the hotels will be booked when Gor Mahia is coming to play. The hotels will be booked when FC Leopards is coming to play. Vice versa in Kisumu, the hotels will be booked. And again, Gor Mahia might decide to take a flight to play in Kisi. They will land in Homa Bay, and that is just a 30 minutes drive to Gusii Stadium. So you see, that is how we get connected. I always say the world is flat. Let us not look at the world as round the way it used to be. We were being told. Today we can access each and every facility through the internet and through communication. So it is important for us to look at things that can help our youth. Sport is one area that will definitely help our youth. And if government, the Kenya Kwanza government, if you are listening out there, look into a way that you can accommodate and help our sportsmen. I saw the president doing something that was so good when this other lady won the marathon. She was given a house, a car, and several other promotions. This is exactly what we need. We need our sportsmen and women to be appreciated. The girls' soccer, interestingly, is coming up very, very nicely, especially in the rural areas.
Yes.
It's coming up. This is something that we had never seen in the rural areas during our time. We never seen women playing soccer, but today women's soccer is coming out very, very nicely in the rural setup, and they might be the best link to probably win the World Cup one of these fine days. So if nurtured early, because that talent has been nurtured early, if nurtured early and given the facilities, all the counties right now are building stadiums. Let us ensure that these stadiums are utilized properly for the men and women who are either in soccer or are in athletics. Let us not just stop in soccer. Kisi could produce the very, very good runners. We have seen the African champion. He's from Kakamega. He's from Luyaland. Luo Nyanza can produce the next 200. We had the African champion in 800 meters. Did you know that? In the African champion for a very long time in 800 meters was my classmate. He was called Kennedy Obong. Whenever you are, we salute you. Now you are
really?
retired. Yeah.
He was your classmate?
Yeah, that was my Nimekula chumvi. He was my classmate. Kennedy Obong was my classmate. We sat in the same class. So Kennedy was an African champion for a very, very long time, and he was discovered somewhere in Awendo. He became this powerhouse in St. Patrick's Eton High School, and he became a champion. He went to the Olympics, won a bronze and a silver. So these are the kind of people that we know they're out there and need the facilities and need good governments to organize and organized managements to ensure that they are brought up and nurtured properly. Otherwise, Alex, now that your team, Shabana, what what were those people singing about? Can you tell us hiyo wimbo ilikuwa ni nini? I mean, it was Huh?
I mean, there were so many videos that have been sent. I mean,
I wish you could play one of the videos here. I
yeah,
don't know how to
if
get
I
them.
had my laptop, I could. I mean, there were. I mean, if I had, but my
Yeah,
phone
we'll
is
play
using
them
my
next
laptop.
time. I mean, the stadium was packed. The stadium was packed.
I tell you, it was packed.
Mm-hmm.
And in my analysis, if you remember, uh, was it yesterday?
Yeah.
I told you that in the event of what happened in Kisi,
Mm-hmm.
some of it was the excitement of what is happening. Secondly, I mean the enthusiasm of what has been happening accumulatively.
No, yeah, what happened yesterday, and
Yeah, and I did
Kissy.
say that part of it is the looking forward for this day. We also wanted to pass a message that we want to win this championship so bad. We wanted it so bad that, I mean, the preparation that have been made the whole week, including politicians being there. I mean, the fan bases, I mean, t-shirts being given for free. I mean, every kind of thing, accommodations, making sure that the hotels are of the standard with the public, in Itonga public what? These people from the healthcare, public health, trying
Mm-hmm.
to make sure that hotels are in standard. And not only that, because the accommodation was not enough, I mean, they outsourced in Nyamira, they outsourced in Ogembo, they outsourced in Rongo, Las Jona, and the rest, even Migori, Oyugis as very, very good hotels. In fact, as far as even in Homa Bay, as you say, it's a very good source of revenue. And that has been going on the whole week, the merchants and everything being sold. But the funny part of it, which did not make sense to me, and I don't know how they were able to palate through this. Kisi Agricultural Show is going on, by the way. The ASK in Kisi is going on. So you can imagine the events that have been going on Kisi this week. The agricultural show has been going on.
Wow.
Preparation, Mandamano was on, and Kisi won. The Mandamano, I think everybody says the Mandamano in Kisi was very classic. And you can imagine now the soccer. So the beehive activities that has been going on in that small town, which eventually Simbarati said is going to turn into a city. I hope it does, because when you look at development and everything, the capacity and even the bankrolling these people, that's why even they were given Central Bank of Kenya, because the amount of money that was coming from diaspora. So if you see in a very few days what has been happening, I think the people of Kisi are very happy that the revenue that came there is a little bit good. Having an agriculture show, ASK, having a soccer national championship coming there. I think apart from the day for Mandamano, I think the whole week has been very good for the people of Kisi.
You're also forgetting that you have a state house in Kisi.
Can you imagine? We have a state lodge.
A state lodge in Kisi.
We have a
And
state lodge.
thanks to Ongwai, some people think that Ongwai didn't do a good job. I
No,
believe
that was
Ongwai.
Matiangi, not Ongwaya, my friend. That was Matiangi. Let's not give.
How was
He had
how
no
was how,
capacity.
how was Matiangi involved in the construction of a state lodge in Kisi?
He was. Let Mugala Muwe mpe haki yake. I mean, the guy, whatever he did, where he used to get money from, we don't want to discuss that. But I can tell you, the guy, in the eyes of the Kisi people, did a lot. That if you say that Nyachai helped us, I will say capital N-O. But if you say Matiangi helped us, I will agree with that. I will never lie to that. But the whole issue is the state lodge and also the Central Bank of Kenya. I mean, it's the courtesy of Matiang'i.
Do you know that Kisi they have a children's hospital?
Oh yes, they do.
Can
They
you
do.
name any county that has a children's hospital?
I do not know that. maybe Gertrude's in Nairobi,
Maybe Gertrude is a private entity, all right?
but it's still a hospital.
It's a private entity.
Yes.
I wanted you to talk about a county government that runs a private hospital for children. That is courtesy of Ongwai.
Oh,
Mgema mpatie haki yake.
But
So
also
Ongwae did
remember,
a good job.
but also remember there is some money that Simba also has been talking about. I don't know how much is it and how long it's gonna take, but also the headquarters for the cancer, the hospital that is supposed to serve the region of Western. What we used to know that the Western Bloc, and the Nyanza Bloc, which is now an economic bloc, uh, the the headquarters for that hospital for cancer research, which might be the biggest in Africa, it's going to be built in Kisi.
That is again courtesy of Ongwae.
Sure, that one is courtesy of Ongwae. That is the money that.
Yeah, when Ongwae was visited the US, I had an opportunity of talking to him and Oparanya, and I think for a long time these are people who should have been brought forth by Azimio to propagate to propel the Azimio agenda. Angwai was very articulate and Oparanya, and their success story in running the county government, although there are itches up and there that you'd find people complaining, but there's a success story in Kisii County and a very success story in Oparanya, in Kakamega. He did quite a good job in Kakamega County. Same to Ongwae. The initiatives that he rolled out in Kisii, if they are going to be implemented by Simba, I believe Kisii will be the top county. Having a cancer center in that region will really help the communities around there who have to either go to Eldoret or travel all the way to Nairobi to seek treatment for cancer. The funny thing about cancer, I need to talk about this so that people out there can listen and understand. When a research center like that one is being proposed, that will be like the only one, maybe the second one in Africa, not the only one in Africa, the second one in Africa. We have South Africa, they have a lab center that we Kenyans are using at the moment. Sometimes back in 5, 6 years, we didn't have any facility that could give the oncologist a treatment path to towards treating cancer in Nairobi Hospital. They used to do the biopsy tests in South Africa. So the tissues were shipped to, were airlifted to South Africa. Then you have to wait for a duration for that lab to send the analysis and give you the treatment path for any cancer patient. It is unfortunate that the government of Mwai Kibaki didn't do anything about it. Uhuru Kenyatta didn't do anything about it. We hope that William Samoei Ruto will do something about it. So many patients are dying because of a wrong treatment path. You are being treated somewhere in Kisi, or you are being treated somewhere in Nyaururu with diagnosed with cancer. Yes, the doctor is saying that you have cancer, but they don't have the capacity to test and give you the treatment path for the chemos that you are supposed to have. So that is something that we need to look in as a country, how we can help our citizens access affordable care. Cancer normally leaves most families beggars. They leave most family beggars. So if we have a cancer center in Kisi, that will be a plus, and let it be fully funded so that they can do the biopsy analysis and give the oncologist a treatment path.
And those have been the prayers of our people that uh, if 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 you look at how much money we take to India, it doesn't make any logic that we can go to India, use that money, and be treated as there are success stories, but again, a lot of them end up being bankrupted to a point that I think there was somebody who was a prominent person that alichangiwa again after kupona kurudi nyumbani because they did not have money to pay for their bills. So I mean, if you look at the repercussions of allowing such mismanagement of our people to happen, it end up taking a lot of our money out of the country. Whereas if we had a working relationship with countries like those, we could have done what we did with the Cuba doctors. So my question has always been, we were able to outsource the doctors from Cuba, and they came to the counties as specialists. And I agreed to that because counties did not have good specialists, and every time our people became specialists, either they shipped out of the country or probably they started their own expensive clinics. So to maintain the level of specialists in our county hospital, Uhuru and Ruto probably brought those people in a way so that the in service for other new doctors. But when it came to cancer, I think I didn't see much being done. What I saw was encouraging even people like Beth Mugo, people like Anyang' Nyong to go out of the country, to get treated, come back, tell us they are better off, whereas the common Mwananchi was dying like chicken. And when we started, there is one that was started in, was it Karen Hospital? It was damn expensive than even going to India.
Yeah, Karen Hospital is a private entity. It's owned by who? I remember his name. It's a private hospital owned by an individual who runs it as his own business. So it's very it was Karen. Ideally, Karen was just to compete with the Nairobi Hospital. It was not meant for the common man. But listening to this kind of talk is encouraging. Our leaders out there need to borrow a cue that if you are sick today and you are in Karen and you can't afford to reach probably Kenyatta Hospital, and Karen is the most immediate hospital around, there should be a law. That is why we still cry for a parliament that is working. There should be a law that allows you to access emergency healthcare in any hospital for free. Bill ulipe baadaye. If you have an emergency, you are about to die and you're having an heart attack or something like that, you should go to any hospital, be it Nairobi, be it anywhere, and you can access the facility and be treated as an emergency. And the government should chip in and pay that bill.
Like in this country, Mzalendo, I mean, even without Obamacare, before even the onset of Obamacare, it was unlawful to call 911, and if you are sick, they come and they don't take you to the hospital. There's a law that is unwritten that they had to come, they had to treat you, they had to take you to the hospital. Now, when you're healed, then they will give you the bill. Now, on it, there was there was something called financial aid that you could get or you could apply through the hospital or other entities that through donors or foundations or so on and so forth. And from there, you could get 1 or 2 and probably pay your bill when you are healed and able to go back to work. And what they used to do is that they could give you a payment plan because it allows you to go back to work. So the funny part of our hospitals is this. You go to Kenyatta National Hospital, God forbid, you stay there for 6 months, but finally you're healed. And then they can't allow you to go home because you haven't paid the bill. So you stay there, they give you food every day, and they are still charging you accommodation and the food. You are not able to pay the first one, and they're holding you hostage there. I mean, and yet no member of parliament has ever come up with a bill that prohibits that and comes up with a lasting solution that if this person has been lucky or blessed enough to be healed, he had a job, he can go back to a job. How do we harness his job and the hospital in a working way so that he can go back to work and be able to pay us? So that hostage taking of people when they're already healed in the hospital, I think it's very myopic. Why? Because this is a potential person that is able to go work and be able to pay back his bill. So holding them longer does not make any sense to me. So I want to see a bill, probably by some of our people from Azimio, who are fighting for common mwananchi, come up with such a bill. I think you're one of the people who said that a couple of, I think it was maybe early this year or last year, when you questioned that, have you ever seen any member of parliament come up with a bill and saying that we need totally free education in parliament, not in podiums of political rallies. But have you ever seen anybody come and work bipartisan bill? And you know what? I realized you are right. And that's something people need to think, that the issue of healthcare and the issue of, we've never seen a bipartisan committee being formed within parliament and within our own people. But when Kaluma formed a bipartisan bill to protect people when they die against Mpango wa Kando, we saw that the people came together. I mean, that was and now Kaluma again said he wants to form he wants to bring a bill. Did you see that?
There's a funny bill that is proposing.
Kalume said
that people with graft or somebody like that,
yeah, should not be prevented.
They should not be prevented from running for any office.
And it's Kalume saying that, and I was like, really?
And he's a lawyer. He's not your normal
member of parliament.
A damn MP who does not speak in parliament. Mm-hmm. This is a vocal, learned member of parliament saying that we need people who are corrupt in parliament, and it is okay for them to be corrupt and still serve the people. Alex, today you've called yourself a name I can't pronounce. I've been trying to pronounce it. I don't have my glasses. I've been trying to pronounce this name. Maybe you can pronounce it. It is. How do you pronounce this name? Yeah.
Yevhen Prigozhin.
Yevhen Prigozhin. That is from Yugoslavia or
Russia. The guy that wanted to cause mutiny in Russia.
Oh, this gentleman.
the one guy.
Oh, the guy who used to be Putin's chef.
Yes.
The cook.
Yes.
Hey, there's a guy in the comment section. I just want to comment. Jarongo, please stop dragging me into the mud. I know you have got experience in foolishness. I don't want to get that.
Mweke nini hapo link aingie. Jarongo can come in and we have a good conversation.
No, Jarongo wants to drag me into the mud, and he has got experience in that. So I don't want to be dragged in that. What we are saying is that the first thing when an MP gets his seat in parliament, do you know what they look for? Anybody in the comment section, if for your MP elected today is announced that is the winner, the next week is in Nairobi, what do they look for? Do you really know?
Second wife?
No. Wild guess. I mean, you said a second one. The first wife will not allow. But thanks to Uhuru, he gave us the opportunity of marrying a second wife. I don't know how necessary that bill was, but those are some of the things that
Yeah,
we.
because I think that is what they all do. And Uhuru saw, a predicament in the future that where we are going to be having, problems when we are barring our members of parliament. Maybe it might be the second one. Probably they do, but the first one I don't know. But is it to agitate for themselves or what? Is it corruption? I don't know.
I think these are some of the laws that are formed when people are drinking a beer.
And politics is done in the bar, you know that.
Yeah. Some of these laws. Hey, Andy, how do you think that? How do you think this will affect us? This is a very very good bill. Kesho, let mimi sign. So some of the bills are interesting. While our people are dying of cancer, our people are struggling to pay secondary fee, while they can bring a bill that that eliminates secondary education. Our MPs are queuing our parents. Imagine, Alex, you begging your local area MP or MCA to pay for you school fees for your children, and this money is not tied to the number of children that people are producing, or data. It is not tied to the data, because each and every year we are reproducing and producing. So the money is never enough. So what they can do is to have a bill in parliament. And I said we will talk about this every day until a legislator out there listen. There's nobody has employed you to pay bursaries for my children or the children of the poor. We have employed you to go to parliament and legislate, come up with a law that will eliminate secondary school fees. That is good enough. That is good enough, so that we don't queue out there. And this is a bipartisan. These are the bills we call bipartisan bills that can be passed by both houses. So hii mambo ya
The unfortunate thing is, I think we need to learn our politics right. And I think our politics has become so polarizing and toxic to a point that if you look at any member of parliament with a progressive bill coming up and be supported by the opposing side, then naturally he becomes a traitor. But when you see the advanced politics of this country, you see the majority leader, who is a Republican, had to have a lot of meetings with the minority leader of the Democratic Party, with the president, who was Biden, to come up in a way so that they can increase their debt ceiling. Why? This was of national importance. The BRICS is being formed. There is competition from other countries. The economy is slowing down. So what do? They put politics aside. They put the economy on the table. They agree on how they can move forward. And nobody is seen as a traitor. Why is it so? Because for this country, employment and labor comes first.
Mm-hmm.
And they love their country. we just had 4th of July, which was the other day. You see how we go out and we blow up the fireworks at night. Even the city is able to host, whereby in 25 minutes, there is no Republican, there is no Democrat, it is Independence Day, and you will see people so patriotic to their own country. So, how do we harness the politics of progressiveness to the politics of parties? The problem is everybody wants to come up with their bills. They want the other side to support them, but they don't want to support the other side. So bipartnership means that scratch my back, I scratch your back. For instance, if you bring the finance bill, we vote for you. Azimio should also bring a bill of saying reduce the cost of living. So if you want us to pass this, it must also be passed with the minority bill. Okay? And that is what Democrats essentially have been doing, and Republicans, that they negotiate within the bills. So as in 5 years, they are able to say, what did the 10th parliament do? Because in the end of the day, Mzalendo, when we say the 12th parliament, we don't say it was headed by Jubilee or by NASA. We just say the 12th parliament never did anything. Do you know that?
Exactly.
Under this speaker. We never say parties. And that is how serious the legislatures for these countries do. So I think the greatest ill that was ever done to Kenya was to tie CDF to members of parliament to a point that we lost the definition of legislation. And now the legislature became a developer.
Exactly. Now you have your MCA, you have your MP constructing a school, and they are busy going out there. You see, I have constructed for you guys this school. Yeah, they are busy branding whatever they have constructed with this money. It's a way of kind of, I look at it like bribing the locals. And not performing in parliament and giving the locals what they want vis-a-vis coming up with a bill that will help the whole country. So MPs have resorted to going back to their constituencies other than having laws that will help each and everybody. I feel so bad, and I can't understand how Otiende Amolo, who is a lawyer, is building a house for the needy in the village and is busy, in gumboots and all that, instead of coming up with a law that will provide free housing.
Affordable housing.
Affordable housing for his constituents. I mean, it's crazy. It's crazy. These leaders, the way they look at us like commodities. They can buy our trust with whatever goodies that they provide. And looking at what they are doing in parliament, we have got members of parliament who have never spoken even a single word, apart from the day they were sworn in and carried the Bible.
And unfortunately, they get re-elected, and maybe they are in their third term. Some of them are in their third term as members of parliament. They never spoke anything. There was a member of parliament from Gusii called Manoti, from the Bobasi constituency. I mean, the guy has been elected, I think, 3 terms, something of the sort, if I'm not wrong. But it is said that the guy has never said anything in parliament. Now, the other one is Sudi, and he has come out openly even to belittle the members of parliament from Luo Nyanza, saying kizungu nyingi ni ya nini. I mean, and then you sit down and wonder, and people buy that. People totally buy that that kizungu nyingi hakuna mahali inaweza kupeleka. But if you look at progressive parliaments that are able to force even a prime minister to resign, like
Look
the
at the
British
parliament, South African parliament.
Mhm.
Look at the British parliament.
Yes,
Yeah.
Australian parliament, New Zealand parliament,
New Zealand and
Mexican parliament.
mhm.
Mhm.
I saw a revolution. I don't know in which, is it Netherlands or which country? In New Zealand, where the farmers have taken over the government. Is it
I
in
think it
New?
was New Zealand, something
I
like
think it is New Zealand.
Mhm.
They're having something. The president proposed some. The prime minister, the president proposed something that they didn't like. The farmers. They united.
Mhm.
They formed a political party. They
Yes.
elected their people who understand what they need. Now they have a majority that can remove the president from power, and they've
And you
done
can
so.
imagine that that's the power of the people.
That is the power of the people. That is
The
why I keep
power
on.
of the people. The people can express themselves through electing people who work with them, not flip-floppers. And once they get to parliament, it is the will of the people that they express. So, for instance, this time around, if truly we were to take Ruto out through the will of the people, it was very easy, Mzalendo. If the people who are in Azimio remained to be in Azimio and used parliament as the way, even though the Supreme Court upheld that will, it could have been that. So, but parliament as an institution is the weakest link. Once they've been elected, they have nothing to do with the common mwananchi. They represent themselves. Even the smallest of things that, for instance, uh, your minority leader decides to support the government, but he still wants to become your minority leader. I mean, basic things, the laundry that should not be, your dirty linens that should not be washed in public, like that.
Alex, I would say maybe they are learning that from their master.
I'm not sure, but as a country, we become a laughing stock.
No, I have never seen a situation whereby the Republican leadership is looking forward to join Biden in government. So you, as an Azimio strong supporter, maybe you can tell us. I mean, what goes in your head when you are looking at a situation whereby the opposition is looking forward to join the sitting government?
If you look at the history of Kenya, it is marred with a bad history, but also with a biased mindset. And I think I'm going to be hit hard with this. I'm going to be hit hard. I'm warning you. With a biased analysis of where the rain started precipitating. Then we come out strongly to say that, because of this happened. For instance, one of my, and I'm going to be hit, I don't mind. I mean, it has reached a point whereby when your voice matters, you will be hit. So, for instance, one of the saddest moments in my early years when I saw the flag of NDP go down, and then it joined something called New Kanu. I mean, it was depressing for me. Well, it has been explained that we had to do this in order for 2002 to happen, to take Kanu out, but I still see the remnant of Kanu until today. And again, 2017, we repeat such kind of things whereby we think by doing so, then we are going to get favor and probably, and we hemorrhaged a lot of supporters. And there were people who voted for Ruto not because they liked him, but because they hated the partnership between what Baba did and Uhuru, because Uhuru upholding of that seat was a total illegality after the Supreme Court actually said that the servers must be opened. If there was a time that the servers should have been opened, was 2017, without a doubt, because it was a pronunciation of the Supreme Court. And there's no way you should go against the Supreme Court. So when you see such kind of history, then later on, you find, petty statements by Jalango that I went for development, which do not hold water. Then again, you have to go back to history. So the whole issue of parliament being watered down, again, is part and parcel of our history. Whether we like it or not, we never upheld that institution with cadre, with respect, and knowing that history will judge us or history will repeat, because they say history will repeat. It may not repeat in the same way, but it may repeat in a bad way that we do not want. So in one way, you cannot say this was good. On the other way, you say this is good. Now, remember, Kenya went to the Guinness Book of Record when the opposition leader endorsed the sitting president. Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta endorsed Kibaki. Yet he was the official opposition leader. So we have a history that is marked with a lot of insincerity. And unless we speak about it and we dust it and say, now we have spoken about it, it shouldn't have been done, we've criticized it equally, now we have a clean slate, we are starting again, then we give people like Jalango opportunities to do what they have done. We give people like Karoli Omondi, because some of these things were done in the eyes of Karoli Omondi. They negotiated these things. Jaka Kimba, they negotiated these things. Owalo, they negotiated. These are the people who are in the middle of all these things that I have said. And today, when they go on the other side, I don't know how we look at it, because somebody like Owalo was in the middle of all this negotiation, like it or not.
All right, Alex, you brought, I don't know whether you're vilifying Jalango for doing whatever he did.
No, a wrong is a wrong. I'm not vilifying him, or am I supporting him? I'm saying a wrong is a wrong. When you've been given a mandate by a people, fulfill it.
Now, I need you to explain to our viewers candidly what mistake Jalango did, or what law did he break?
And you just asked yourself a few minutes ago, I've never seen a Republican.
Yes, I've never.
You just said it.
Listen. You know, I have never seen a Republican head trying to join the government, but I have seen Republicans voting pro-democratic bills. I have seen some Democrats voting for bills that are sponsored by Republicans, and that one you have witnessed.
Based on logic.
Exactly, I wanted, yes, but
yeah, based on logic, but based on truth, but also upholding party lines.
Yes, exactly. But by and large, the argument has always been, I come from a coal mining area. Democrats are trying to stop this. Me, as a leader of this particular area, most of my voters depend on this. I must protect their interest. So I will not support this bill being brought in by my party.
We have such kind of quandary. I'll give you an example.
That is a good example.
I'll give you a best example. because yours is neither black or white, it's still gray. I want to give you a very candid example that I saw in this country. There was a doctor who was a Democrat, and the social issues before, let Obama finish the politics of social issues. Before, the issues were abortion, you know, bedroom matters, family matters, church matters. You know that they were at the peak of the politics. If you are pro-gay, if you are pro-abortion, if you are pro-small government, so on and so forth. So there was a doctor who subscribed to the democratic political tenant. Then when it came to the vote of abortion, he stood firm. He said, due to my education and my medical background, the question is, when does life begin? He blatantly told the Republicans, the Democrats, from my education, my information, I cannot betray what I know, that life begins at conception, to support the abortion bill. I'm still a Democrat because I'm a liberal. But when it comes to the question of truth, when does life begin? He voted with the Republicans. And it was logical. So it is understanding when it comes so. But when you look at Jalango, where does logic begins that I'm going to State House to look for development? Because that has been his undertone. Had he given me a simple, cogent, persuasive reason on why he's going to State House, then I could say that, look, he is a city MP, probably is a member of parliament to most of these members of parliament. Okay.
You see, that's again tell he is the member of, is the MP for the president, and
So no, just give me time to finish. If he had given me such reasons, okay, so I could say that, look, Jalango is a member of parliament that is not a normal member of parliament, and therefore he does also, okay, serve these people, and therefore for him to effectively also do that, he must be given a breather. But now, when Jalango sits down in any media to explain himself, I mean, he has sat down in many media houses to explain himself on the reason that why he has to go to State House. He has never convinced anybody. Even Kingori had to criticize him. Look, even comedians now have to criticize him because Jalango cannot convince anybody. So this saying that you go to State House to look for development does not make any sense. So Jalango must understand his role as a member of parliament. And as you said, you have given us statistics, how competitive that seat was. And I've seen in your Facebook pages and other areas, you've given statistics that this is not a seat that probably you can say is safe. It's not a safe seat. Yeah, it can be tossed, it can go any either. And that is why, for me, I think that Jalango is playing more politics into his seat than that development thing. He is eyeing the voters for Korea more than the voters that voted for him.
No, that's who tells you you don't have statistics that the people who voted for Jalango, maybe some of them defected from Korea's side and gave him the vote. I don't think you have that data and you can analyze it that way. The only thing that you have read or you have seen me analyzing is that Jalango won Langata seat with less than 200 votes. Less than 200 votes. 200 votes. His closest rival is Korea, who was in UDA. And Korea actually said, you know, yes, you've won the seat. You are now the MP, conceded rather.
And there was a reason to. There was politics to it again.
We can
There was
speak.
politics to it, and there was an
You know,
agreement to that.
you are talking like a politician, because you are one politician from Azimio side. That is an Azimio side of point of view. But generally, when I'm looking at the way Langata is, and the developments before pre the elections, the nominations of ODM, and how Jalango won the nominations in ODM, and got the ODM ticket, and eventually won the seat. So there are a lot of developments.
Yeah, but
And a
also
lot,
you are seeing
a,
it
a
from
lot
a
of a lot
UDA
of
point of
politics.
view. I mean, that is a UDA point of view.
No. This is not a UDA point of view.
I can guarantee that that's how they view it.
Every candidate that as in ODM were not sure of, they had to subject them to a nomination. Tomojienda, Jalango, all these other candidates you see who jumped ship, majority of them, unlike others who were given direct tickets, they were subjected to a nomination. Fortunately or unfortunately, they won their tickets. They were not the preferred candidates for the party. That is what I gather from the ground. They were not the preferred candidates, but the preferred choice of the people. So either you don't give, if
look.
listen, if ODM didn't give Jalango the ticket, Korir would have been the MP for Langata.
I doubt that. I mean, look. I mean, let's Nairobi swap. No, I mean, let's be honest. Let's not. Yeah, the elections are over. Let's be honest.
No. We are just analyzing.
And I will give you my
how.
analysis. I will give you my analysis.
Mhm.
Jalango was a weak candidate. Not only that, Jalango had also competitors within ODM who had supported ODM for a very long time, and also had once again been vied in Langata before. Now,
and lost.
It doesn't matter. I just said vied, so don't guide my submission.
No, you have to
Don't
add a
guide my
rider and
submission.
lost the elections.
No, don't guide my submission, because I think it's like psychologically that's a leading statement. So when you see that people have lost and won later on, you have lost election, and we know you are going to win after that. You have lost elections before Mzalendo.
Mm-hmm.
So the fact that you can lose even nomination does not mean you are the weakest candidate. Okay, you know how politics work. You can be the strongest candidate in nomination and still lose. And
yeah, true.
And even in the main election, you know that. So but Jalango played his politics right. And this is where Jalango played his politics right. Jalango understood the power of music. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
And for a very long time, the artists from Luo Nyanza have been dominating the music in Kenya, but they have never been given a platform so as it can be a national platform, and take the politics out so as, Njoroge can still enjoy Ohangla and put his Ohangla in his bar without being castigated. Now, him coming from the media and being a darling of the media, what Jalango decided to do was to bring all Luo artists, and he called it Luo Fest, which was truly the most successful up to then. I don't know if anybody has ever beaten that record. So wanasema Mgala muwe mpea haki yake, including Baba came from Mombasa. I remember it was from Mombasa. They had still to come to the Luo Fest because, that was the biggest thing that night. And Jalango took advantage and announced his and said that he must be given what? The nomination. You remember that? During the Luo Fest.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that is why I'm saying Jalango played his politics over the people and also used his proximity to Baba to make sure, and that is politics anyway. You can't blame somebody. In a game of politics, is man eat man society, okay? By all necessary means. So when you throw yourself to the game of politics, you're not going there to joke with your competitors. A couple of years ago, you saw what people like Moses Kuria did. When Uhuru Kenyatta came in, he was almost winning. And that was, I think, a couple of years ago when Moi put him in. Uhuru lost because the politics of lies was used against that the Kenyatta family have killed a peasant the way they have always done, and Uyo Mtu disappeared before the election. And what happened? They voted, according to them, a dead person, and when that person was declared the winner so that a by-election could be done because they thought he had done, the guy surfaced. And that is how he won for 5 years, became a Mbeo Pelham. So what I'm saying, the politics of by all necessary means is also there. So what Jalango did was right. To play the politics with the big shots and make sure that he gets the nomination, because getting the nomination was the biggest thing for him. Once you get the nomination, you win. And remember, there are people ambao waliteswa sana to get nomination.
Jalango is one of them.
Is among them, and Simbarati is among them. And Simbarati was
among them. So yeah. You know,
and the funny part was, other people are given their papers silently, but after being harassed for a very long time, now when they were being given their nomination, they were paraded and given now openly. Okay, which did not make any sense to me. People knew Simbarati was going to be the next governor of Gusii, but they just kept postponing.
And because there was this other lady who was also a darling for in ODM.
No.
I am telling you, there was a lady who was also
Janet Ongera.
Yes.
Janet Ongera was the election director for ODM for a very long time.
Which seat was she eyeing for?
She wanted to vie for governorship. Then, seeing Ongeri was there,
Ongeri was there, and
Simbarati and this, the matrix was so complicated, especially for Baba.
Very, because all these are Ongeri. Ongeri, when you put Ongeri and Simbarati,
let me tell you, they underrated Simbarati for a very long time, thinking the last minute they could convince him to go back to Dagoretti. They thought so. Even me, in my mind, I did not know the networks that Simbarati had. Secondly, I underestimated his money power. That when the boy unleashed his finances, even Ongwae asked, where does this boy get his money? Because there was a time Simbarati stopped people and called lecturers in a place and said, nyinyi sio watu wa kupewa 500. Kama wewe ni lecturer, and unajua wewe ni lecturer, just come here. And he gave those people 6,000. And people were like, and there were many. So when ODM realized this man, remember at some point they even made Mbadi and Ongwae the co-chair of the Nyanza ODM, so as they can find a way to push Simbarati out. And that is when they went to South Mogirango for a certain meeting, and Ongwae was so humiliated. And Rasanga decided just to say openly, Wakisi wameamua, hakuna mahali huyu kijana. Even Kalonzo told Ongwae not to fight Simbarati. So what I'm saying, what we were talking about is the nominations of some people were given too late, which actually also there was a seed of discord. And I don't know, Mbadi also managed ODM in a wrong way. I don't know. I mean, I feel so. Mbadi got to a point whereby I feel like you had to give him something small to get also nomination. I felt so.
No, let me now tell you that Mbadi is Mbadi is never close to even a nomination certificate. He is not. He is never even. He struggles like any other candidate to get a certificate of ODM. I,
The
I
way he
remember
struggled to get the
when
Homa Bay.
you remember when Karori Omondi beat Mbadi in Suba. Mbadi was the chairman of the
But
party.
how did he do that, honestly?
True.
How did Karoli Mondi beat that guy?
Karoli is well oiled. He has got the money. He has got the network. He provided Orange ODM with the facility for free. They were not paying him any rent. Yeah, for the longest time. For the longest time, he was a close ally to Baba. He worked with Baba when he was PM. He brought
No, I know
Karoli.
that, but Mbadi has been the chair of ODM for a very long time.
Mbadi has been a toothless chair. And going towards this election, it was seen that Junet had got even more powers than Mbadi. And Mbadi in many rallies in Homa Bay said that the party ODM has been shortchanging people for a very long time.
I
And
remember him saying that.
this is a party leader of a political movement saying that. So it means that
So he
he
was
is
smelling the rat.
no, he knows very well what goes on
So
in ODM.
look, Mbadi comes out sometimes to be an arrogant person. I don't know. Was he resonating well with the people of Suba?
Oh, let me tell you, if the party knew very well that if they had done a free and fair nominations in Homa Bay, oh sorry, if they had done a free and fair nominations in Homa Bay, then Mbadi would have carried the day. Mbadi is very articulate.
Extremely. That is true.
Mbadi knows the ground politics in Homa Bay.
Mhm.
He knows how to play with the crowd mentality. This is the only candidate that can be voted in without him spending a lot of money in an election. So the party knew very well that he's going to beat Gladys
Wow.
Wanga to the ticket. So they had to talk to him and push him out to allow Mama to become the governor for Homa Bay. Otherwise, even I don't know what the party will do in the coming election. If they will still give Badi the nomination, well and good. But I am sure he is still eyeing to be the governor for Homa Bay.
Now, look, and that's the jinx sometimes that is weird, that you may be pushed out by your people to become the member of parliament, but they can vote for you if you're vying for governorship.
Yes, because first at constituency level, you are only interacting with your constituents. Mgema inasemekana, there's a Swahili saying that says that you cannot be praised in your own backyard. I'm trying to get it. Yeah. So Madi outside his backyard in Gusii is very popular in Mbiwa. Is extremely popular in other areas in Suba, including Bita and its environment. He was able to cut the politics, his niche in the politics in Karachuonyo, which is the bigger constituency. So he was
So
able to.
Karachuonyo is in Kanyada.
No, Karachuonyo is not in Kanyada. Karachuonyo is Rachuonyo.
Or is Rachuonyo?
Yes.
Which extends
Kanyada,
to Uyugi?
we have Homa Bay constituency under Kaluma.
Yeah.
Then we have Rangwe and Lilian Gogo. So
Mhm.
it goes on like that. Then we have Karachonyo constituency. Then we have Kaspul, Kabondo, and all that. So that is what we now call Karachuonyo. So if you are able to cut half of it and
Mhm.
run away with it, then you are good to go. You'll become the next governor for Homa Bay. So Buddy's politics resonates very well with people on the ground. That I give him credit. You cannot beat him on the podium. He knows what to say, but these words sometimes they cannot be turned into development. Some of these leaders they talk, they are very very articulate, but if you see their output is the most important. Why I say this, I come from these areas, this area where you don't find leaders meeting, having a consultative meeting, the way you have said in Kisi, leaders met, decided that Shabana, we need to support, this is one of our own. In Luo Nyanza, we don't have leaders talking about, for example, how many times have you heard on the floor of the house a leader from Nyanza talking about the fish industry? Be honest. Be just honest, Alex.
I've
How
never paid attention to that, but that's a
you
question that
you
has
you've
always.
never paid attention. It has never occurred to you that they need to be talking about it. That is the reason why you don't think about
But
it.
I think they did talk about it a couple of years ago when they said Apo Garibuna Lake Primary School they were going to put a fish industry. I mean, even
No, we have seen budget allocations for the tea sector. We have seen allocations for the coffee sector. We have seen allocations for the maize sector. We have seen all avocado in Kisi. There's been allocation. The tea that you produce in Kisi, is it tea or coffee? The tea that you produce in Kisi, we have seen some allocations in parliament brought by the leaders there. But the leaders in Nyanza, they don't talk about the fishing industry, for example. How much has been allocated for the fishing industry in,
that one I've never seen. That's right.
yeah, the billion. Yet, there's something that Sabina Chege said that really annoyed me. Sabina Chege said that Nyanza people don't really need a ministry called the Ministry of Fisheries. You know, we have a ministry called Ministry of Fishery. I don't know what it does because they don't need it. They don't need it because and she asked one question: how much revenue does that fish bring to the country? How much revenue
Is that
does
why
the
we are importing fish from now from China?
because we have got leaders who cannot stop the importation of fish. They cannot know the consumption of the domestic market consumption of fish. They don't know the deficit that needs to come from Kenya. We have leaders like Kaluma, and look at the bills that they are bringing in parliament. Look at the
And
bill.
I think probably there's a big scandal maybe is coming after him. Why would he bring such kind of?
No, he knows that most of parliamentarians are are people with scandals. They are followed by scandals everywhere. So he's trying to just
Appease them?
appease them, and knowing that you'll be investigated next by EACC. Again, we have got a new EACC and Oginde, Bishop Oginde.
That's
We have
toothless though. That's a dog barking without teeth.
I want to see what Oginde is now the new EACC chairman. He has
That's
been
a dog barking without teeth. I'm telling you, they don't expect anything from that.
No, Oginde was my bishop, so I expect him to do a lot. He has been talking about government for a very, very long time, ever since I
Oginde
knew
will
him.
do nothing.
I
Don't
knew him as
expect.
a pastor. Now he's in the hot seat. We want to see heads rolling. Bishop Oginde, wherever you are, we want to see you coming up with a prominent case, and we want to see that case brought forward and people locked up or people paying. Again, there is somebody who is floating about around the issue of life audit. Life audit should be done after every 5 years. We need to do a life audit of these MPs, the governors, and everybody else who has been taking money from us. We need to know kama uliingia parliament na hii gari yako ya Vitz ama ka Toyota ama nini, hizi gari zote 10 umetoa wapi? Hizi
Can you
maflats
give me?
umejenga
Let me
umetoa
use
wapi?
the bathroom. Just give me a few minutes.
Yeah, we need to know that. We need to know where their money or their wealth, their source of wealth. So this is very, very important for a country like ours. We need to know exactly where these people are getting the money to put up skyscrapers, to walk around with money in briefcases, to buy drinks which are worth 500,000 and yet they don't do any kind of business. We really need to know why they are misusing public resources. If you're out there, this is Mtembei TV. We are live. We need you to join the discussions today. We are having an open Saturday. We are not actually discussing anything in particular, but we are looking at our country generally. We started with sports. We congratulated uh, we congratulated Shabana for winning the Super League, and now they are promoted to the FKF League. We looked at the structures in sports management. And Nick Mwando, if you're listening to me, we said sports is the only, the only, uh, the only thing that can unite us when it comes to soccer, athletics, and many other things. So let us embrace the teams that have won, welcome them to the FKF League. It is a source of revenue for the county governments. We hope that they are going to run with it and ensure that the teams that are participating from their counties have got enough resources. Their budget is allocated annually so that they don't run broke in the middle of the league. So this is a way of creating also employment for our youths. Soccer can employ. Soccer can employ doctors. Soccer can employ groundsmen. Soccer can employ drivers. Soccer will employ the technical team and the coaches. So soccer is a very, very big. If you have two teams, so you can imagine you have got two team doctors in that particular field employed by the teams. We have got players over 22 employed by the teams, earning salary, putting some food on the table for the teams. We have got a driver who is driving the team. He's also earning through that. We have got a groundsman who is supposed to take care of the ground. The security team that is every match they're taking care of. They're ensuring that there's enough security for the players and the crowd. So soccer is something that we have talked about earlier, and it should be embraced. We were now touching on the life or lifestyle audit of some of our legislators. They have just come in parliament. They are living large. Others we are seeing buying drinks of 500,000. They are okay with it. Others are splashing millions of shillings in their houses. I've seen an MP from Jamira. Uh, maybe Alex can tell us more about why your MP from Nyamira is showing us that he's such a millionaire and not putting his money in the bank.
Haven't seen that. Who is that?
I know you're avoiding that question, but Anyway, there's an MP
No,
was
I
been.
haven't. Honestly, I
You
haven't.
haven't seen it. I
No, I
remember
haven't.
his name. If somebody in the comment section, can you please give us the name of that MP who from Nyamira who was showing us the cash in his house, and I think he's one of the richest now in from Kisi. So this is something that is happening in the country.
When was that?
Uh, did you get his name by any chance? Somebody is saying
Yeah.
Jarongo Owidi. Is like Owidi. Mzalendo. I told you, Jarongo, please, we are in a democratic country. Uh, don't drag me into the mud with the tribal politics.
But when was that?
I am beyond that. I am beyond that. If you are still stuck in tribe, I am beyond that. I am of this generation that is going to fight tribalism in politics. So don't equate me to Owidi or somebody else. Owidi has got his own platform. This is Mtembei platform, where if you have got any view, negative or positive, please come into the show, hear it. If you are pro Azimio, well and good. If who tells you that I'm pro UDA? I am not pro UDA. I
Put the
am.
link down there. You haven't given them the link.
I mean, I've given them the link.
I don't see the
The,
link.
the only problem is, you needed to have, can you copy it and paste it on the comment section?
I haven't. I don't. Let me see.
Can you try and copy it and paste it? Because I think that's the problem. So many people want to come in and they don't get the link.
I am using my phone as I told you. I don't think I'm able to do that. Let me
Yeah,
see.
I'm also not able to copy the link, but if they can go to Mtembei, the link is on Mtembei.
Is it there now?
Yeah. It's on Mtembei. I can forward it to you. Alex, I can forward the link to you. So
Yeah,
Jarungo.
you did forward to me, but I don't know if people are able to use it
Hmm?
because you need to be on your laptop to allow it to.
No. You can use it. I mean, how did you come in? You can use the link. You can click the link and get it to the show.
Yeah,
So
but you can't paste it
I
in the
can't paste
comment
it on the comment.
section
Yes, I
to
can't.
be
I can't.
you can't paste it in the comment section to become blue for people to come in. That's the problem.
Yeah. That's the problem. That's
Yeah,
the
but if you
problem that I'm
send them
having.
privately, so that means that you should have sent it to the group in our group.
I've already sent it. So do you want me to send it again?
They need it in the comment section. Yeah, they need it in the comment section, and I don't know. You're
No,
not
what?
on a laptop.
I'm not on a laptop today. I'm not on a laptop. My daughter was using the computer. So let me send it to and tell somebody to paste it. Yeah.
Yeah, probably. I mean, it can help. Let me get my laptop.
Oh, you already have? Okay, get your laptop because ladies and gentlemen, we are still continuing with the show. I'm trying to add people into the show.
Yeah, just have to. I'm still logging in, so we can continue to talk.
On the comment section. So yeah, Alex is a straight shooter, not like Jandhiwa Mzalendo. Oh my God, this guy Jarongo.
Jandhiwa Mzalendo. Oh my God.
Jarongo, please get into the show. Get into the show. Get into the show. Stop being on the comment section. Get into the show, and we talk about our county. We talk about our country. Next, Alex, I would like us to talk about the 10 million signatures. The 10 million signatures that Baba is told his supporters to collect. How far are we going to go with the 10 million signatures? And how, Alex? Oh, I've added you twice. Umeingia na Alex? What do you think about the 10 million signatures now that we don't have an IBC that has been constituted? Where are we going to take the 10 million signatures that Baba is collecting? I also saw in some commentary that you have got only 80 MPs. How are you going to get 10 million signatures? Yeah. So this is something
Now
that
we have the link. I don't know if they see it. Can you see it?
yeah, I can see it. I can see it. I can see the link. I can see the link. I can see both links from today. I can see the one for True TV. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, now if you are in the comment section like Jarongo, we want you on the show. Stop these side shows and Swacha kutupa maneno. We need you here. We need the guys who are watching. Please join the link. We discuss. This is your show. This is where we discuss everything openly without taking sides, although we like taking sides sometimes, depending on which side you are. But welcome to the show. If you are a Zimio supporter, UDA, if you are neutral like myself, pia karibu sana tuongee juu ya nchi yetu ya Kenya. Now we are talking about the 10 million signatures. Jarungo, tell us why the 10 million signatures are going to be taken, or tell us whether it is part of the Constitution of the Republic of Kenya, or these are some of the hot hairs. Yes, I can see you've said you'll get 10 million signatures. So after getting 10 million signatures, what next? What next? Maybe Alex, you've got an answer to this. What next after getting the 10 million signatures that Baba wants from his supporters? Where will he take these signatures, and for what purpose are these signatures? Will it be able to remove Ruto from power? Will it be able to call for an election? Or these are some of the wishful thinking by the Azimio leader? Join us.
I think if there is anything that Baba has done that was right, was I think the listening to the will of the people that support him and making sure that the yesterday maandamano, which for many other people maybe in Kenya right now it is the maandamano for Friday. The people are waiting for it. First of all, when he came from Poland, he said he's going to come for a consultative meeting. He got in the morning, and later on, he went to, and they listened to the people. Then he told the people that we are going to have Mandamano on Friday. I was a little bit skeptical because I think we've had Mandamanos that have been postponed at the last minute, which actually crushed the enthusiasm of a lot of people, to a point that I think I heard one time a young man says, Aki mzee ameharibika kichwa. Hii ni nini anatufanyia? Saa hii usiku ni anatukatasha tukisha prepare. So I think bunge la wananchi pia was a little bit, deprived
Joy,
of.
Joy. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, bunge la mwananchi was also deprived of their promises to the people, because you go there, you promise the people tomorrow we are going to do this, but all of a sudden in the last minute again. So we saw to a point that there was now bickering between here and here, to a point now Gaucho is starting having problem with Nuru Okanga. And it was because of the frustration that was going within the people, that you hype up the expectation of the people, and then the implementation of that was not coming out. But this time around, Baba followed through. And when he went there, he must have a message. And the message is, these people are not happy. Remember when we started Mandamano, I was part and parcel of it, and I will never stop. There was a time I just said, we are doing it in the wrong way. We need now to harness what is the urgent need for common mwananchi, so as we can get more people. So what I said at the beginning was, this issue saying Ruto must go without just having, a plan, just rhetoric alone is taking us nowhere. So we said Ruto has already made enough mistake. Let's capitalize on it, so as we can harness that support from, both sides, because there are people who were in our sides are supporting it. And obviously there are people who are on his side that are going to support us. Now, I think we have come to a point whereby Baba understood truly what the people wanted. So when he went there, the question is, these people have said the epitome of all this. Remember, before we did not have something to cling on, Muzalendo, but the epitome of everything was the finance bill. So Ruto has given us a gift. Now, how do we capitalize on this gift? Okay, because the finance bill was good for the members of parliament, because I think in statistics you saw, these people just needed 66%. These people ends up getting 76 point something percent. You round it up, that is 77%. With the 80 members of parliament that were missing, which was intentional, and Osoro said it. Now it's in print that they used money, they used manipulation. Some of them were taken out of the country. You saw what Osoro said. So they were coerced into it intentionally, which means these people were bought to in a different way for them not to attend. So if you add the 80, which gives you 22%, 22 plus 76, that is 99%, it means the whole parliament voted for what? For the finance bill. So in that statistics, so we find out that Sisi, now parliamentarians, we have nothing. I think we have cut our relationship. Now, Baba comes and tells us there are many ways to reach Rome. When they block one road, we use another. Today, our Rome is Central Park. That is where we shall meet after the Kamkunji rally. And that is when they set up to start the signatures that Baba actually told us. Now, if you look at what Baba is doing, is this. Baba is telling his people that I think there is hope. And I totally believe in him, because if they maintain that steam, we are going to deny the government the taxes that they so need for this expensive finance bill. And if we continue doing that, we will curtail and make sure that this government does not function. Now, the question that you have asked is, can we get that 10 million signatures by Friday, the way he said? I believe it is an achievable effort if the people feel the pain. And that will be an indication to Ruto that, look, this finance bill is not fashionable. And I think you're taking us for a ride. Now, if Kenyans listen carefully to towards whereby these things are gearing to. Remember, the reason why we did not say we need to do Maandamano Mzalendo on Monday is because the conservatory orders for this finance bill was postponed until the 10th, which is on Monday. So for us to have Maandamano on that Monday is fatal. So we need to see what the courts are going to say about. Okay? So we could have said, let's have it on Friday. We did successfully. Then say, let's go back Monday. But Monday, we are waiting for the court judgment because we've started having a leap of faith in our courts, given the fact that it was able to stop a little bit of the finance bill and again to squash off the 50 CSS. So before that, just give me time. Before that, we had nothing to do with the courts. Okay? So we have said this. Let's give the court one more time to see where they are headed to. So on Monday, we postponed our Maandamano. But meanwhile, we have embarked into our signature collection. And I think if you did not see what they did not show you today, the people that were in Gusii actually collected their signatures today. It was a very successful effort, and I believe from yesterday they started, and today they did that. So I think the whole issue is to now look. We were given a blackout by the mainstream media. You know, yesterday we were totally given a blackout by the mainstream media. So essentially, Azimio, and not just Azimio, because I don't like calling it Azimio, because now I think we have shifted our goalpost. It's no longer Azimio. We are talking about the cost of living, which affect both sides. So there are people who do not subscribe to the political tenant and the philosophy and ideology of Azimio, but they subscribe to the issue of this finance bill. Is something that we don't want, we can never want, and we will never want. So how do you accommodate these people in so as it does not become an issue of party, but it become an economic freedom, issue? So the signature collection is indicative and an indication that Kenyans are sick and tired of these market declarations whereby they become now law later on. So I believe from what happened on Friday, and Kenyans of goodwill all over the country, when you saw Baba decentralize Maandamano, unlike before when all of us were cohorted and plummeted in one place, and when we were prevented from going to the CBD, we all felt like chicken that has been rained on, because we go back home very tired. Unaenda Maandamano the whole day, and your target was to reach CBD, and you are not able. This time we were able to access the CBD, but at the same time, we were able to go to Machakos, Gusii, Migori, Kakamega, Turkana, Mombasa, all over the country. So I believe the mechanism that was put now to go all over the country was not just to go kuandamana. That's why you did not see people like Sifuna, because they had duties to perform and making sure that the signature collection was part and parcel of what we must do before Kenya. So, but the question is, can we meet our threshold of 10 million by next Friday? That is something that I cannot authoritatively say that, okay, we are going to do this. That is the equation of wait and see. But if we can do that, I think then the government will sit down and ask itself, what's the way forward? If we are able to do that.
Yeah, I think the issue of the signatures is just an exercise to demonstrate the way you've said it, to demonstrate that the people of Kenya are really against the finance bill. Unfortunately, the finance bill is now law. It has been signed into law and waiting implementation. Uh, I think for me, it is rather late to collect the signatures and purport that you are going to have anything relevant from that particular exercise. But by and large, we have praised Azimio for the organized Mandamano they had. We hope, and I strongly believe that this somebody wants to join. Give me a second. Are you the one trying to join, Alex?
No, it's Mutembei who's behind. I don't know why he doesn't want to get it. Mutembei ingia ndani na utusalimie kidogo bwana.
Yeah, he likes being
Support us
behind and
today bwana.
anatusumbua.
Surprise
Now
us and support us.
surprisers and supporters. And now, Alex,
Yes.
we have seen Baba making 360 tons, especially when it comes to the finance bill. How honest, in your honest opinion, is it the finance bill that is really after, or is it preparation for 2027? Because if it is issues of the finance bill, you and I know that the floor of the house is where we can address the cost of living. The floor of the house is where we can regulate the prices of essential commodities. Why can't he then whip his MPs to bring a bill that will regulate the prices of commodities on the floor of the house? Baba himself told us that the war in Iraq, in Ukraine, is the one that.
I don't know. Are you okay? We can't hear you very well now.
You can't hear me?
I don't know
I
if
was
it's me.
yeah, maybe it is you. You've got. Baba said that the war in Iraq is the one, in Ukraine is the one that is making the fuel prices to go up. I don't know what has changed within the last 8 months or so, that the war in Iraq is still there and the prices of fuel are still going up. Why this shift?
You see, in politics, you must capitalize on every weakness. I mean, politics is a game. And in any game, I mean, you must have a striker, you must have a defender, you must have a goalkeeper. I mean, there's a linesman, there's a referee. I mean, and politics has such kind of characters.
Mm-hmm.
If you look when Ruto was the deputy president, he did the same. He's no better.
Mm-hmm.
The same things that he's agitating today are the same things he was against.
Mm-hmm.
If you look at the BBI, he's pro BBI today.
Mm-hmm.
If you look at issues of food security,
Mm-hmm.
We are facing the same challenges through the same mechanism that he's using that was tried and failed.
Mm-hmm.
If you look at the issue of VAT,
Mm-hmm.
fuel VAT,
Mm-hmm.
Mudavadi was sitting in the rooftop making noise, and there are such kind of statements whereby I was saying we cannot afford 16% of VAT while our people are going through the hardest moment of our lives.
Mm-hmm.
So it is easier to shout when you are in the opposition.
Mm-hmm.
Let me repeat that. It is easier to criticize when you are in opposition. It is easier to take mileage when you are in the opposition. But when the rubber meets the road, when you are now governing and you realize you must govern, you must produce, and at the end of the year or 5 years, you must show Kenyans what truly you have done, because that now it's no longer politics, administrative, and governance. Then again, you will be judged not based on promises, based on the deliverance. So the politics nature of opposition is, you look at the patchworks, you look at the loopholes, and you talk about that. That's the work of the opposition. And you can also say that they are taking advantage of it. Because if those are the loopholes that are existing, you cannot go back and say, because you advocated for this, now you need to advocate for this because they are in the government. Opposition can never advocate for what the government does. That's a fact. And let me repeat, for the benefit for you to understand, opposition can never advocate what the government wants. And unfortunately, this is what has been happening in the politics of Africa. For instance, in South Africa, because they know that EFF can give the ANC problems, intentionally ANC has been going to implement the policies for EFF, and EFF has been caught between the hard rock and the hard place, because how do you criticize a government that now is implementing your policy? So that is now your question. That now UDA is implementing some of our policies, including the housing levy. Though for us it wasn't mandatory, but for them they have put it mandatory. But at the same time, at the beginning they put it 3%. We said ours was 1.5%. Now they have reduced it to 1.5. Now that's how you play politics. Politics or policy is not as easy as people think. You see, for a long time, the Republicans were anti-racism historically. Republicans was the party that were advocating for what? Emancipation of slavery, because Lincoln was a Republican. But they shifted their goals, and later on they found themselves that they were the ones who were propelling what? Slavery. And Democrats, who were actually propelling slavery for years, longer than the Democrats, have been seen as a people who are liberating the black people. So unfortunately now this politics of the so-called policy making, especially now that you are in government, you have the leverage to make policies. So you can actually go and steal somebody's policy, go run, make it your own, and just leave the other people to look with their mouth aloof, because they are not able actually to criticize you. But in the end of the day, history will judge them that they came up with this policy. So your question is right, but at the same time, it's a political question. It is as subjective, it's not objective. You are trying to put my party down, which I cannot accept. The whole issue, the role of the opposition is not to support the government. It is to put the government into checks and balance. And that is what we're actually doing.
I think, you're doing a perfect job in putting the government in check. As a minority party, we don't have an opposition party in the Kenyan constitution as it is right now. So I think Baba and Azimio are doing exactly what we expect of them. The only problem is that these declarations, sometimes they don't hold any waters. Like the declaration on the signatures, it is not very, very significant. It is a waste of time and probably a mockery, because at the end of the day, where do you take the signatures? You have not told me who will verify these particular signatures. Perhaps, Alex, you can explain to me where who will verify your signatures?
In a subtle way, there is the real politics and the shadow politics. And look, at the eyes, of Kenyans, our movement is fighting for the cost of living. But politically, if you know, the politicians are eyeing on sitting on the table on how to do what, to make the new IEBC. The mind of the politician is not the mind of you and me, Mzalendo. The politicians are using the standard of living to negotiate on how to sit, okay, and talk about the new IEBC. So when you hear the issue of signature, Mzalendo, you must know that we are also trying also to say, Munajua, this IEBC that is coming, we need to come up with the IPPG, whereby we must sit on the table. So the politician is not going to fight for you 100%. So you asking me about that, you should be clever enough by now, because if you went with Kalume, with Milio Diambo, and all other these people, they cannot be where they are by you thinking and asking me, where are you taking the signatures? What are the signatures after? We want to say we have the signatures, but we don't have IEBC. We want an IEBC that is not Ruto IEBC. We want a Kenyan IEBC. So when we're talking about signatures, we're also talking about IEBC in a subtle way. Do you get that? But because the cost of living is so high, it can't be our priority. You must, in a way, be conniving on how you get it in as a politician without the people knowing what you're also eyeing. Because if you put your interests first than the interest of Mwananchi, then you lose that crowd in Kamukunji. If you can hear me.
I can hear you very, very well. That begs the question that Azimio have always been agitating for, the constitution of IEBC. IEBC. And let me add Senator here. Who is this? Okay, sir. Senator is coming on and off. I don't know why he's clicking on and off his camera. But if you're hearing us from the background, this is Mtembei TV in conjunction with True Talk TV 24. Today we are having an open session. We are discussing our country. We are discussing the politics of the day. We are discussing the way forward for Azimio after they've had a very, very, very successful rally. I don't know whether that was a maandamano or a rally. It is for you viewers to judge. But to me, I think they were having a rally. Even Alex tells me that they went to the CBD. I think CBD was not part of the rally. The rally was supposed to be in Kamkunji. And the Kamkunji grounds were open. It was not condoned of. And that was also a plus from the government of the day that allowed them to convene and have a peaceful rally. At the end of the day, the issue of the cost of living is resonating very well amongst each and every Kenyan is feeling the pinch of the cost of pump prices, is feeling the pinch of the cost of maize. But again, we are looking at the end game. So my panelist here tells me that this movement is a way to bring the government to the table so that we can discuss the issue of IEBC, the issue of constitution of IEBC. IEBC is the body that regulates elections in Kenya. It has got a chairman. Right now, if anything happens, I don't know how we are going to have a by-election in the country in the absence of IBC. So the issue of IBC is very, very urgent. It is something that our politicians have been playing around with until the last minute. We saw the Cherera 4. They were appointed nearly at the last minute by they were appointed the last minute by the president. It didn't work so well, but again, as we say always in this panel is where we inform you. This is the panel where you come in and give us information that we don't have. We only gather information or the knowledge that we have as per our constitution or as per what is happening in the political arena. But so far, the politics is very, very hot, and Azimio supporters are having a field day. They managed to get Gusii on board, and they are looking at a situation whereby by Wednesday, the whole country will be demonstrating, or the whole country will be pro Azimio leader and whatever is agitating for. But Alex, if anything happens, for example, that Ruto manages to bring.
Yeah, I've been kicked out several times, just as Mzalendo. And now Mzalendo has been kicked out. I mean, I think we are still here agitating for our country. And the thing is that we are seeing we were talking about the repercussion of the Shabana game, whereby they won, but also on I think he's coming back. Let's see. Okay, I'll add him. Yes, thank God he's coming back.
Alex, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, I don't know what went wrong. I just snapped off. I don't know what I'd pressed. Using a phone is so difficult when you're conducting this particular program.
Very difficult. Where's your laptop, man? You can't do this.
My daughter is playing a game called Roblox, and
I know roadblocks. How much money do you use in a day? I used to buy a lot of in a day, $15-20. Roadblocks is very expensive.
Robux is something that everybody plays here in my house, and they play it until midnight. So we have to beg each other. Now it's my turn to use the laptop. It is my turn to use the computer. Mm-hmm. So, but anyway, I think we can still have a decent conversation through my phone. What I was saying earlier on is
a question. There is a question you were asking.
Yeah, there's a question I was asking about.
You remember it? Go on, but
the constitution of IBC. I remember the Azimio leader and ODM really pushed Kibaki with the issue of IBC. Then was it ECK? First was ECK and Akivitu, then we came to Isaac Hassan. Isaac Hassan was a recommendation by the opposition. Then Chebukati was also a recommendation by Raila and ODM. Now, Alex, I want us to be very, very honest. If these political parties, these political players, they want to appoint referees of their choice, will the election be fair, free and fair?
Isaac Hassan wrote a book which I read and finished, and that is just a book.
That's why I like you in the panel, because you read some of this. Some of us are not very good readers, but
Yeah, Isaac wrote a book, and the book's name was A Referee of a Dirty Game. I mean, that is what he called it, without a doubt. And he went further to say, even in some excerpts that were put in our daily news, whereby he says Ruto called him several times and told him if he does not declare the election before the end of the day, it's not going to be well with him. And you can see a person under siege. You're writing a book, but still you're not ni kama kikohozi, unakohoa lakini utaki kutoa makohozi ndani yako. So he's kind of telling us that election, I was told that I must declare the wanted winner, not the real winner. And 3/4 down the book, it was so difficult for me to read it.
Why?
Because the undertone of it was the players in the runoff to declare the winner of the election, not to declare the winner, to announce the next president. That is how he put it. It is not to declare the winner. He refuted that. Elections, you don't declare the winner. You declare the next president. He says that you are under siege. If you don't have peace 6 months too. The phone calls, everything that you get is that it doesn't make logic why we even use so much money in election. All these, contracts, when you know that in the end, that D-Day in Bomas, it's a declaration. And that is why now the war of the next president is not in the contract. It is not in anything. It is in the next IEBC that will actually declare. Even as you are chosen as the next IEBC chair, you don't even know what will happen. Over time, you start now understanding the politics of the chair that you have taken. If you ask this young man who we used to go to church with, what is his name? The Communication Commission of Kenya chair.
Communication Commission of Communication.
The former IBC chair, the young man who very young man. So if you ask him if he anticipated at some point that he will be involved with the chicken gate and so on and so forth, he will tell you capital NO. But then there is this culture that once you come to become a commissioner in IEBC, you will be taken through an orientation what that really means. And you will come to know that the politics of Kenya, and that is why sometimes I don't blame Ruto. And when I say this, watu wengine wataniua for no reason. In 2002, in that election, Ruto fought so hard for ODM. And later on, Chiloba, thank you, Chiloba. The young man was called Chiloba.
Oh, yeah, Chiloba.
I mean, the guy just, thank you, the comment section here.
Thank you, guys.
So remember that particular time what happened. After we have formed the Grand Coalition, Kibaki made one of the worst statements that he should have made as a president, because for me it was careless, because all this that is happening to Kenya now is because of what the statement Kibaki made. Kibaki said this: uliiba na mimi niliiba. We nani alikuambia uibe kidogo, mimi niibe nyingi? Do you understand that statement? Do you see the implication of that statement? That in election, in your stronghold, we know you are able and capable to steal. So there's no free, fair election when it comes that if Raila's stronghold is in Nyanza, Gusii, and all that, that they can come and steal there. They know that they cannot do that. But are the Raila people able to do that? The answer can be yes or no. I do not know. But according to Kibaki, it was uliiba na mimi niliiba. We nani alikuambia uibe kidogo? Now, if that is true, if that is true, then I think we went to the next phase, which actually has been happening in Kenya, which means that in 2013, Ruto understood you don't steal so that you are not caught. If you have to steal, iba. If you have decided to steal, steal. And that is the equation now that we are going on here today. I think my laptop is going on. Or just give me a second.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, join us in the show. This is Mtembei TV. Today we are analyzing. We are on Saturday. Alex is back. Endelea, Alex.
So if that is true, then they decided in 2013 to steal with their heart, their soul, and their body. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Now, in 2017, it happened the same. The Supreme Court pronounced it, and I mean, these people were adamant. They refused to open the server because most probably the server will say the truth. But the reality is, Kibaki set the train into motion.
Mm-hmm.
That this is how politics from now is going to happen. 2022, the same thing has happened. So if in four consecutive, because 2017 we had to do election twice. So if in four consecutive elections, we have mastered the art and science, because it's no longer an art, it has become a science. Whatever happened in Bomas, for me, it was a science. How the elections, I mean, for me, I don't even know. Because you tell a person he has won, Raila was on his way coming to Bomas as a winner.
Was he
already was there with his mother?
But what does the law require you as a candidate, like for the candidates who are running for the presidency? The law is very, very clear that the winners have to be informed. That
if you look at the people that
that
is why Baba said, and that's why I've said, sometimes Baba don't say things and you don't reveal it to the people. Papa told us that I'm going to release the CCTV. You remember that? I mean, this is the weakest link sometimes of some of the things that we say. And even Tuju told us, for us supporting, and who know that this is true, we are waiting for those CCTV.
We have been waiting for the CCTV footage up to today. They don't have anything.
Criticizing. I'm only saying that some of them were released, more especially when Chebukati meeting. I mean, there was a CCTV when Chebukati met with people. I mean, it was not a very clear CCTV.
No, the one at Yaya.
Yes, it was not very clear. But Tuju now was so daring, okay? But it tells you that the beehive activities that takes to the announcement of the presidential candidate who is the winner is not something that is easy. It's a complicated process. That is a fact. So now I was giving my preambles of your questions. So the next IEBC, you must know that if you want to participate in the election, Mzalendo, you can't participate as a flower girl when you know that you don't have a leverage. for Agwambo to participate in this election, remember, Uhuru had to negotiate and give us 4 commissioners. Remember that?
The Cherera 4.
The Cherera 4. But what I think, what we missed to fail.
The Cherera 4 were your commissioners.
Yes, but what we missed, and some of us kept saying, and we were told that Baba knows what he's doing. Until today, there are people keep making that incendiary statement that really hurts me, that Baba knows what he's doing. That when Baba tells you your wife is pregnant, start buying diapers.
When Baba tells you jump, you don't ask why. How high?
Growing up, anybody can support me who is in the comment section who remember. There is this Eddie Murphy movie, which was actually one of the best movies I saw. Now I can't watch it because it's so obscene. But at that time, I never cared about the obscenity. But right now, because I have children and I have to watch with my children, I can't watch Coming to America. But in Coming to America, in that movie, if you remember, Eddie Murphy wants to get married. And it's an arranged marriage, okay? And then Eddie Murphy doesn't want the arranged marriage. So the father tells him, the king of Zabunda, I mean, they made another good movie, which actually ran the other day, that if you really want to look at it, you have to go back to the first Coming to America. But that movie, I love it because of this. Now, Eddie Murphy called the woman that he has been betrothed to, because the woman has been trained since childhood to become the wife of the king. And then she's asked, Eddie Murphy asked him, why do you think you can be my wife? Because I've been trained to be your wife. Then he tells him, so
I think Alex network is tripping. Amefanyiwa ile kitu. Alex, come back. You are telling us the story about Eddie Murphy. Meanwhile, guys, in the comment section, asante sana, Jeffrey Ruto. You're saying Raila is looking for opportunity to further his interest. Yeah, Ruto, that is your opinion. That is your opinion. Gigi, karibu sana. Gigi is saying he or she wishes that Azimio can move on. Gigi, we cannot move on as Azimio because there is the issue of cost of living and is affecting our people. So the government must address the issue of cost of living. Gigi, wherever you are, that is the reason why we politic here every day to address the issues. You better get into the show and tell us how they should move on. They have got no path. Let me add Alex.
I'm sorry. I mean, I'm being attacked left and right. I didn't know what I said that was wrong, that I'm being attacked. But Nisame, if I said something that was wrong. But let me finish my illustration. So Eddie Murphy asked the lady, you've been told or you've been raised to become the queen. He said, how? He said that everything you say, I must to do. And she comes so easy because I mean, and the elegance and everything of being a queen. So and you can see in her face. Then Eddie Murphy tells her, hop like a dog, and the woman starts saying, whoop, whoop, whoop. And Eddie Murphy lets that lady do that for 20 minutes, and he leaves the house, and that woman does it. I don't know for how long, but Eddie Murphy has taken a flight to go to USA to go look for what? A wife. And that woman was left there hopping like a dog, like whoop, whoop, whoop.
So, is that the way you've been left?
Yeah, that's the unfortunate parallel illustration of our politics. Okay,
Uh-huh, uh-huh, uh-huh.
unfortunately. So I don't have to finish my statement. Connect
No,
the
you
dots.
you don't really have to finish
Yes.
your statement. Our politics is full of psychophancy. Our politics is full of I don't know even how to classify it. We no longer vote for leaders because of their policy. We vote for leaders because of our closeness to or proximity to where we come from. If I come from Rift Valley and there is somebody running for president in Rift Valley, definitely I will run along with the most popular candidate. If I come from Nyanza, you are seen as an outcast if you don't support Baba and his ideology. So we need to reach a point whereby we are able to elect leaders of our choice. We are able to elect leaders of our choice and leaders according to what they can offer in terms of governance. The issue of IBC, it's a very very good question that Azimio is putting out there. The government of the day should not be left alone to select IBC officials. But again, if there are the two of them selecting the referee of the day, then we have another third player who should also be allowed to participate in the exercise, and that is the citizen of the Republic of Kenya. We need to find a way, Alex, to fix IBC. IBC cannot be left for the government of the day or the opposition to select the officials that should sit in that panel. Uh, it has never been a solution because Raila in the last election was left to select the Cherera Four. You saw what happened. It can never be a solution to leave it for the government of the day because they are still manipulated. How can we make our election free, transparent, and verifiable? That is the big cue, Alex. You live in a first world country. How can this election in Kenya be free and fair? Here, where you live in Minnesota, you don't even know the IBC official there. Do you really know who is the IBC official in America? You would not even know who is in charge of elections in some of these counties. So we need to fix IBC. We need not to know who is even the chairman. We need to know that it is a system that is flowing systematically, and we will get the results that we are able to verify. And one thing you saw in the other ruling that the famous Mainakiai's ruling that elections are done at the polling stations and the exercise ends at the polling point. So that is where there is the contentious issue. What I'm seeing in our country in the next election, people are going to hack each other at the polling center. People are going to kill each other at the polling station. That is where everything is supposed to be verified and sent to the centers. Alex, maybe you can tell us why our election, why we can not have a free and fair, verifiable election without involving the presidency or without involving the opposition leader. Why can't we have officials who work uh, as per the constitution of Kenya and deliver the leaders that the people want? Why are we always questioning results when they come out? Is it a norm? Is it like we are used to, questioning authority when we lose elections, or is it that we don't trust institutions that are like IBC that are mandated to run the elections? Well, what can we do about it? Alex, are you still there?
I mean, the problem with the politics of Kenya is once you're in power, and those people that have been in politics for long, like Raila, Ruto, and Uhuru, at some point in their politics, there was a concerted effort to eliminate them. And they survived. And there was no political justice in that those who are holding the keys to power, some departments or some ministries are so powerful that they have been used politically. For instance, the Friday, people, Wanashiko Fridays, such kind of things. The CID, which has also been changed to be named something else, the ESCC, I mean, they've never been truly independent institution that even a politician can feel obligated that through justice they can go to those and be given justice and go back to politics without worrying. For instance, if you look at South Africa, Malema has made a lot of mistakes, but he has gone to courts, he has gone to the KRA, he has been able to pay the taxes that he owed, he has been let go, he has continued his politics, and the politics of retributor and the courts themselves have been able to give them a platform that somebody does not end your career because of one thing or the other. So the reason why the IBC has been a cutthroat is because it's the only way sometimes to survive the political storm. Because if you look at this, if you lose and the other side want to impoverish you, they can do it because of political expediency. So we need to mature up and understand that if we were competing with Mzalendo and I lose, don't come after my businesses. Don't make things that do not make sense and come after me because you think I'm going to vie again. Allow the spirit and the space of democracy to thrive. And that is going to eliminate some of these things that you see in IEBC. But if it is a do and die game,
Alex, wamekufanyia ile kitu tena. You are on mute. Can't hear you. Ebu, can you hear me? Ebu, say something.
Can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay.
I can hear you now.
Yeah, so the IBC has been the only place where now politics is being played. If you remember, in last general election, Ruto told us a statement that we thought that, man, this guy is going cuckoos. You know, this guy told us that Ata Mweko Oburu Odinga, you know, and you look at the magnanimity of that statement as a professional and as a normal Kenyan, it makes you know that the IBC is the playing ground. Ata Mweke Oburu Odinga, because he was just basically saying that the only person that knows Raila left and right since he was born until now is one person, and that is Raila. That's Oburu Odinga. And he said, Ata Mweke Oburu Odinga. Ikitu bado tunachukua. Now, what does that say is that the politics of IBC should be mended. IBC, previously, IBC was called Electoral Commission of Kenya. We saw Chesoni, we saw the first one, we saw what happened, and we were dissatisfied. And we said, okay, let's remake this. Let us come with an independent commission. An independent commission that is able to give us an independent mind, independent result with independent people. But actually what we did was just to change the name and just put the I, which is independent. Independent means dependable on one person. And that is what we have been looking at. So for us to have an IBC that is workable for the people and functional, I think there are several things that ought to be done. First of all, we need to go back to history. Understand that the reason IPPG came was the mistrust between the politics of the opposition and the politics of the government. Why? Because whoever that is in the government wants to do everything in their capacity to make sure that the other side does not have no money or do not have anything that called money in order to bankroll a few members of parliament and be able to fight for whatever they want for. Now, secondly, we have to go to the politics of regions. We have had political tribal mortgage for a very long time, to a point that, Mzalendo, when we propose as a party that we want somebody to represent us in our party that probably is ODM in IBC, the first name that comes is Aluo because of tribalism.
Because of what?
Tribalism. Now,
Laws can be trusted.
when we wanted now to decentralize and move away from it, we made blunders. We made blunders that I will tell you that if I was a presidential candidate, I will not choose somebody that is not a Kisi, because once we went with Isaac Hassan and we went with Chebukati, we even made even more blunders than Oswago. So we complicated again the matrix. Do you understand that? That now, even when we had our own, it was bought. Now we thought we should decentralize. It was bought even further. Now, can you understand that point?
Now, how are we? Okay, even if you're given a chance to choose somebody, how are you going to safeguard that this guy is never going to be bought?
Now, and that's why Ruto told us, Ata muweke Oburu Odinga. Now, the politics of IBC, I mean, it's like walking on what? Eggshells. Mzalendo, I tell you, you're a huge person. You cannot walk on eggshells and they don't crash. That's
just like
it is like, you know, what can I say? You know, we are
that's why Alex, what is the possible solution to this IBC thing? Because there is no, even if Baba wants 5 commissioners from his backyard in Bondo, even his brother, his children and Anani, they can be bought by the government of the day.
Unfortunately. You know, let me tell you something. 2007 taught me something that I'll never forget. In fact, we had more members of parliament, and Kibaki was declared the president at night, and he had an uphill task to prove that he was the president. And we were glued on the TV. We were glued on the TV for the first time. All Kenyans wanted to know who was going to become the Speaker of the National Assembly. You remember how many times we voted in that in that election for the speaker? 3 times.
Until midnight. I don't know. Then
Exactly.
it was crazy.
Exactly. And
I
it
was
was
in the media
fun.
then.
It was fun for us in the opposition because we kept winning. And you know, Marende was there. And Baba had chosen a lawyer. We thought now that was the greatest mistake. And 2 things came out. When you campaign and you get to a point that you really want to win, and it gets to a point that you see you are losing, and the other sides come to your aid and tells you that we know you are going to win. You are going to lose if you don't have money. But if we give you money, you might win. So they went and gave Mugabe Were money. Mugabe Were in Dagoretti. Was it Dagoretti? Where was that? Where was Mugabe Were?
Mugabe Were was the MP for Embakasi East.
So Mugabe
Embakasi,
promised
Embakasi, yes.
Yeah, Mugabe Were now promised that he was going to vote for the government. But unfortunately, Baba Licious, a surprise, because he knew the weakest link in that in his side were the lawyers. I'm sorry to say that. So he gives the lawyers the speakership. Now, the lawyers have to decide. Are you going to vote against your own? Mugabe Were was so ashamed, he ended up voting for who? For Marende. But alikuwa amekula fair.
And Mugabe Were was murdered. You remember?
Yeah. And that's why I say later on, Yeye and the Anamoi member of parliament, they lost their lives before even enjoying the fruits of the campaign of 2007. And when we followed up on how after campaigning you become extremely broke, by the time you are done, you don't even want to go back home because you've been campaigning with borrowed money. So wewe kuonekana nyumbani, I mean, it's a risk. First of all, you have to ask yourself, how am I going to pay Madeni? So the government of the day comes and say, let's pay for you this Madeni. Probably that's what happened to Jalango, because Jalango, is a socialite for me. He comes out, asema akona pesa, you don't know how much he has, because to campaign to become a member of parliament in Lang'at, in the city,
very expensive.
It's not an easy job. So probably Jalango used everything. He mortgaged even his what? The American says even in kitchen sink. That's the metaphor they use. He mortgaged even his kitchen sink. So akisha kula ana place ya kuosha vyombo. Lazima afanye nini? Aende nje aoshe na matawi. So he mortgaged even. So how do you continue to bankroll your life? So you find that the government will come, negotiate with you, you talk with it. So the whole issue of IEBC and how the government operates is that, yes, it's like South Africa. They got political freedom, but they never got what? Economic freedom. So we must ask ourselves, is there truly democracy when it comes to some of these things that we call ourselves democracy? The answer is no. So we must go back to define things in the right way. I swear to you, Mzalendo, the solution is this, and I will give it to you. Unless we define what IEBC is in the correct way, we can never have corrective measure. Unless we define what a legislature is, not a person who receives CDF to do development, we can never correct it. Unless we define who our governor is. He's not a politician. He should be a technocrat who actually brings the county into accountability. He shouldn't be a politician. We will never elect right leaders unless we define who a president is. Chapter 6 will always be violated. I can go on and on and on. The solution is definition. Unless we define things in the right way, we are going to continue things as normal. So if we define chapter 6, if we define what the presidency is, if we define who is a member of parliament, hii CDF itatoka. If we define what a county government is, CDF will be merged with county revenue allocation that is being discussed by the Senate, so as we can have more money. If, for instance, in my county, we have 6 constituencies. If the members of parliament will be starved off from this amount of money, it's put together and given to the county, we can harness that with the revenue allocation that last year or 2 years ago, we had a problem. Instead of giving members of parliament this money, what business do they have? For instance, you asked, Otienda Molo has to go every weekend and build 2-3 houses, uko kwao. Yet his work is a legislature. You don't see that nonsense in the US or in the UK.
That is going to build houses. Mara,
Yes.
at given
I don't criticize him as a person. I criticize the system, because the system has made him, if he doesn't do that, then he doesn't look like a working member of parliament. If you look at the report that came in that Babu Owino is the most effective member of parliament, it does not talk about how many bills he has brought to parliament. It talks about roads. So, I mean, we must stop that. So your question is, how can we make the right IEBC? When we correct our legislature, when we correct our presidency by definition, then we can define what IEBC is. It starts with the presidency.
The funny thing, Babu Owino is my MP. And
Luma is your MP, not Babu Owino. Wachana hiyo maneno yako.
Babu Owino is my MP. Where I reside in Nairobi is my MP. And yeye ni mgeni pale Embakasi. The fact that is being rated number 1, maybe on issuing bursaries and things like that, but when it comes to the road network, the artery roads that join Utawala, some of them are county roads. So these county roads are actually done by one Sakaja. Now, the sad part about it, Robert, get into the show. Stop getting in and getting out. Karibu sana, Robert. The sad part about Babu Owino is that in Utawala, we have got this water. We have, just switch out your mic, kidogo. We have got these water vendors. People in Utawala, some parts of Utawala cannot access clean water. They still depend on connectivity done at a cost between 30 to 20,000. In most areas in Utawala, where Babu is the MP. So this analysis, they should cut across each and every development sector that they want to look at. In issue of road connectivity, most of the roads in Utawala are either county roads done by the county government. In the issue of bursaries, that should be an X. As we have said it so many times in this show, it is not the work of the MP to give you money or to take your children to school. It is for him to go to parliament, pass legislation that will give affordable and free secondary education, and not lining up constituents in a rally to give them bursaries to take their children to school. This is your money. You should get it through parliament and free education for your children through parliament. A free health care can only be achieved through parliament and not by giving you handouts to go to the hospital. Hey, Robert Mabolo. Robert Mabolo, karibu sana kwenye show.
Hiyo ni jina ya Millie Adhiambo. Mabolo ni jina ya Millie Adhiambo ama nani?
Ni Mabona, si Mabona. For me it's Mabona.
Mabolo Robert.
Huyu ni Mabolo Robert. Robert Mabolo, please, karibu sana, tunashukuru. Tuambie where you are listening, where you are tuned on. If you are in Kenya, ni asubuhi sana. Karibu sana kwenye show. Sisi tuko Marekani, wengine wako kule Canada. Hapa ni midnight. So, karibu sana.
Yeah. Mimi niko Kenya, Kiambu. Sijui mnanisikia?
Vizuri sana.
Mimi naitwa Mabolo Robert, natoka from Uganda but niko Kiambu sahi.
Karibu sana.
Nimefuatilia sana hii mjadala yenu. But sikukuwa na nafasi ya kuingia juu watu walikuwa wengi sana. Saa zingine nilikuwa najaribu niingie but sipewe nafasi. Kwa fupi naweza sema hali yenye iko Kenya sasa hii watu wengi hatukutarajia. Mimi kama mtu mwenye nimelelewa Uganda kwa maisha ngumu, Kenya we did not expect such. So our leaders have taken granted. Wamechukua hiyo nafasi ya sisi kukuwa na hiyo hali yenye tunafikiria wanajali. So users. For example, if the church has not corrected its acts, then serikali itarekebisha. Kanisa saa hii, sisi Uganda kanisa imetusaidia sana, napiga kelele, nafanya hivi. But hapa kanisa ndio nafanya maovu kubwa sana kuliko hata serikali. Na sasa kama kanisa ndio iko karibu na Mungu, ndio ingeombea serikali, inafanya mambo mbaya kama hiyo. How do you expect the government to change? Because president akienda kwa waganga hataongelewa sana kama pastor. Na upate pastor amefanya vitu mbaya na hajaguswa, hajafanya chochote. Sasa hii ufisadi iko kanisani sana. Mimi ni pastor myself. But nimefika mahali nimekataa kwenda church. Kwa nini? The church which I opened myself when I came to Kenya is called the PAG. The pastor I looked for myself, nikamleta. But from nowhere wakasema kanisa sijaiona kwetu Uganda. Sadaka wanaweka kwa mahali ya kisiri. But hapa treasurer anasimama mbele anasema leta sadaka munipatie ndio mimi niweke kwa basket. So there is a lot of corruption going on in church today, which needed to be rectified. Now, who will do it? So, Mr. Alex, I want to tell you the truth. We are all confused. If the church is not helping the government, then we are just left like in those days where it was called the darker days. Between Malachi and Matthew. That 400 years passed when people were not understanding anything. Everyone was prophesying his own way. So to me, that's my contribution as a Christian today. I always say, if the church will know how to be accountable. Ukiuliza sahi pastor, pesa zenye unapewa unafanyia nini? Huwezi jua. Na pastor sana anachukua pesa mingi sana kuliko ate mbunge, kuliko ate MCA, kuliko ate nani. Ukiangalia tu Ezekiel vile amekuwa protected, ako na pesa mingi sana. Juu ya nini? Huwezi jua anafanya nini ndio apate hizo pesa. Na analetewa pesa. So there are many ways of rich people. How people are getting rich in Kenya. Different way. So Mr. Alex and the brothers who are in America, pray for Kenya. Unless the church is clean enough. Tunahitaji Yesu kukuja apige watu vile alipiga huko Jerusalem kwa temple. Kanisa ianze kupigwa kwanza ndio serikali ifuate. Kama maandamano, tuko na maandamano, Wakristo waanze kuandamania wapasta wao. Na tusipofanya hivyo, I'm telling you guys, we are still confused because today many people in church are going to be conned. Kila pastor anajua, anafikiria vile anaweza koni watu yake, vile anaweza sema kitu ya kuwatisha, ndio baadaye sasa alete solution. Thank you very much.
Asante sana ndugu yangu, asante tena kwa kuja kujadiliana na sisi. Lakini sijui kama uliona juzi, kuna mchungaji alisema, sijui kama uliona hiyo clip, alisema najua wengi wenu leo hapa mtanikataa, lakini mimi sijali. I think alikuwa amekasirika sana kwa sababu Ruto alikuwa amesema kitu fulani, ilikuwa ni kuwa Ruto alikuwa amemkasirisha akasema, I don't know if Mzalendo, you have seen that thing in the newspaper. There is a pastor, I don't know which church he comes from. He was extremely mad kwa Ruto alikuwa amesema, nyinyi hamnishtui, hakuna kitu mtanifanyia. Then he was asking, nani alikuweka kwa hiyo kiti? Wewe unachezea wa Kenya. Hata Mungu afurahi. I don't know if you saw that clip. But at the same time, unaangalia watu kama Ole Sapit ambao I don't know why they support the DP, they know themselves, but now I think over and over they are, you know, I mean, you can see that paradigm shift. Wanajitenga, kanisa inajaribu kujitenga. Siwezi sema kuwa mimi ninajua kwa nini kanisa imebehave the way imebehave, kwa sababu mimi siwezi sema ni mtu wa kanisa. Siasa zangu nyingi zinafanyika katika other places, lakini mimi mchungaji wangu, hata leo tuliongea na yeye, mchungaji kanisani, nilitoka kanisani, akaniambia endelea kufanya kazi mnafanya, kwa sababu kila mtu ako na kipawa chake. Sisi kama wachungaji kazi yetu ni hii, lakini tunapoona mnafanya kazi ambayo mnafanya, tutawaombea na mtaiendelea. So kanisa si mtu. Mtu anapoongea kama his own, you know, position, we should not turn it to become a church position. And I think that is the problem that we have done, because we all go to churches. You just told me that Ogida was your pastor. So if Ogida decides today to say something that maybe you do not like, will you want it to be affiliated to your church? If Mzalendo today you say something because you belong to that against PAG, would you like it to be part of the PAG just because you gave a personal? So I think, I don't know if we are Christian first before we are ourselves, or we are ourselves before we join, you know, the fellowship of Christianity, or we are our tribes before we become Kenyans. So, and these are some of the things we need to define, because I think political expediency makes us take advantage. Sometimes we are tribes before we are individuals. Sometimes we are individuals before we are tribes. Sometimes we are Christians before we are a nation. Sometimes we are a nation before we are Christian. I don't know, Mzalendo, do you get that confusion by yourself over and over?
Yeah, you know, on the issue of the church, apart from just the confusion that we have as individuals, we have got the right to attend any particular church that we feel are addressing the problems that you have. You know, you go to church, you don't go to church when you are okay. You only go to church when you have got a problem. Most people go to church when they've got a problem. And the problem is not that probably hauna pesa or you are lacking job. You go to church because you are seeking Jesus, or you are seeking some divine intervention in your life. That is why people go to church. But by and large, you have to know the connection between the church and the government. For a very long time, the government is the one that provides licenses for these preachers to preach the word of God. So if you are a preacher today, like the gentleman who has just left the studio, He has been looking for a license to preach for a very, very long time. It is the government of Kenya that will give him will give Robert the license to preach. It is the government that will give him the license to preach the word of God. It is the government that will provide for him the piece of land where he wants to construct the church. And for a very long time, a land that was allocated to the church came from the government for free. The church did not pay a single dime for the construction of a church in Kenya. So with all this enticement between the government and the church of the day, you will find that the churches, that's why we have very many breakages in churches. We have, like, for example, these African indigenous churches like Raw, we have got so many of them. So many of them. But at the end of the day, who is giving them license to practice or to preach the word of God? It is the government. So the church, you'll find it is inclined with the government. They sit on the same table with the government. And when it comes to election, the church is the easiest place where a politician can go and ask for votes, because one, they have a congregation that is already there that you need not to pay anything. You only talk to the pastor, who is Pastor Robert. Kama pastor anapenda kukula lungula, anapewa kitu kidogo, anasema mheshimiwa Simlani anakuja kuongea na nyinyi. But wafuasi mapasta pia wana shida. They allow politics in the church. They allow politics in the church. My church, the Nairobi Pentecostal Valley Road Church, the politician cannot stand in the pulpit. They can only stand down in that congregation point and say whatever they want, because they're the president of the Republic of Kenya. You have to recognize them when they come to your church, but give them a chance. But don't allow them to go beyond. Don't allow them to go beyond. Let us have a church like the Church of Ndingi Mwanawanzeki, the Church of Archbishop Okul, the Church of Archbishop Cardinal Otunga, Reverend Njoya. They stood in the gap between the people and the government. Robert, I can see your hands raised. Say something.
I want to go somewhere, but my bundles went off. My contribution towards the church, that's my field, because I studied theology. There is a lot that we are also taught there. We call it esoteric. Besides when you have not gone deeper in theology, you cannot understand what is happening today in the church. It is the church that is misleading Kenya. Not because at the end of the day, pastor will invite the president. I've always seen your president putting on uniform of the church. Our president, let me say, our president William Ruto. I always see him putting on uniform of a certain church. But you have seen in Uganda, for us, our president is a president. He puts on the color of his party. Even when he comes in church, he will remain a president, but he will not put on your church color. But here in Kenya, there is a lot of confusion amongst us, theologians, leaders, church leaders who have not gone to school. We don't have order from above. This confusion, once upon a time in Uganda, there was a time when Kibwetere burnt people in the house, like you see Mackenzie have done it there. So that's when all churches were instructed when you want to open a church, you must have a mother church. You can't just volunteer to come up and say, the Spirit has told me to open a church here. You will be closed down. You must have, maybe if you Catholic, you have your leaders recommending you. Then they were given NGO board. You register there as a non-government organization. Now, any rules that governs NGO board are the one that governs the church. So today, me, when I came in Kenya, I opened a church under PAG. But I came to discover that PAG in Kenya is different from PAG in Uganda. Churches in Kenya are tribalistic. When you see PAG is more Luya. Even when you come in Nairobi, you'll find PAG still drumming like Western Kenya. You see, when you go to certain churches which you put on, they coming from Nyanza, they also behave like people in Nyanza. When you people from Kambani, the same way. So my advocacy is let the leaders rise up, converge as national leaders of all churches. Let them come up with one solution to clean the church first. If the church will be cleaned, then the government, because at the end of the day, all people who are demonstrating are Christians. These people who are demonstrating, who have been tear gassed yesterday, the other day, are Christians. So people have lost trust in Kenya. They have lost trust in church. That's why people are now moving on roads. So to me, Alex and my brother Mzalendo, change begins with you and me. I will not talk so much about government because I know my government as a church is also corrupt. I've always seen, even the other day, I had in Nakuru, one of the Christians poisoned another person because of the church leadership. And that person was buried yesterday. So if something happens that way in the church, and then nobody is following up, so the devil has blackmailed us. He has given blackmail to everybody. For us, we have a topic that we call it pneumatology, about the Holy Spirit. That's where confusion has come from. Mtu anashika chuma, anaanza kugonga gonga hivi, anazunguka na uniform yake na nini, anasema the Holy Spirit has come. I've wondered how people do things here. You see? So on the side of politicians, I've always noticed one thing, Alex. Nimeangalia kitu moja. The other day when Raila was organizing, nikasikia ameenda ng'ambo. Kwenda ng'ambo anaenda wapi? Kabla maandamano yaanze, Raila anaenda ng'ambo. Sasa maandamano ikiendelea hiyo siku, Ruto akaenda nje. So me as a spiritual leader, I've always looked at that. And it's something that I'm always asking God, why? Even the other time when Raila was organizing maandamano, he also alienda nje. Wakasema wamemngoja airport, akirudi ndio sasa iendelee hivi. Anaendanga nje wapi? Naye pia akirudi kutoka nje, naye mwenzake anaenda nje. Anaenda nje wapi? So spiritually, I'm beginning to question these abroad journeys that these leaders go. They may be sacrificing us in disguise. So for us, we don't know our boys, because they are hungry, because they are idle, because they are lacking what to do, so they only follow. So in the process of following, wanapiga watu wanakufa. Huwezi jua kwa nini. So my concern here is, as parents, let's advise ourselves. Jana nilisikia mahali, sijui ilikuwa Nyahururu, yes, Nyahururu. Tuko na watu wawili walianza the previous governor na mama mwingine walikuwa wametoka nje, wanataka kuandamana. Wakaambia leta watoto wenyu muweka hapa kwanza ndio muanze kuandamana. So somebody has protected these children beyond protection. Yeye anakuja anasema sisi wa Kenya. Okay, sawa. Vile walipiga watu tear gas, wakaumiza watu wengi wamevunjika miguu. Huwezi jua wako wapi. Wengine wameingia kwa choo, wengine wameingia kwa maji, kwa sewage, wamevunjika, wameenda hivyo. Leo sijasikia Raila akifuatilia kwa kila hospitali kuangalia watu ngapi wamevunjika. But he's saying again on Wednesday is beginning. So how long shall we poor people suffer in the name of politics, in the name of fighting for our rights? I think our rights is coming back home and say, my mother, my father, let's go to the garden. My mother, my father, let's go and do some kibarua. It is not our mistake to be like this. For poor people, for rich people to manipulate us. Because poverty started with this world. It is written in the Bible even when Kenya was not there. So if it is that our side, we have not been tujakuwa na bahati ya kupata, mimi naomba sana wasitutumie vibaya. Juu hakuna hapo mtoto wa Raila, hakuna hapo mtoto wa Kalonzo, hakuna hapo mtoto wa Ruto, hakuna hapo mtoto wa nani. Wote ukiangalia vizuri, if you trace when maandamano begins, ask where they could be outside the country, because they know when the country catch on fire, our children will survive. You see? So Alex, I've always followed, I wanted so much to talk to Bernard. Bernard is a pastor, but Bernard has always misled the congregation, and that's the truth. Me as a I've told him, I can't lie you. I've already clashed him on my comments. But I did not have a better phone. I was praying God to give me a phone. Bernard is a pastor. Pastors, we know very well that church politics started a long time ago. We had a person, the Bible says, God is sovereign and God is always there. For us in Uganda, we had Amin for 9 years. But Amin helped the church to be cleaned. I'm telling you. Amin alifunga kanisa zote, akasema hii ujinga mtoe hapa, akaleta baraka akarudisha hapo. Watu waliombea msituni. Na vile watu walihomba, bado wanakumbuka leo Amini. Watu wanaenda kanisani wanaomba vizuri. So in Kenya, we have had enough liberty for the church. People don't know. Somebody said God speaks through circumstances. Why did God allow Amini to rule in Uganda for 9 years? Where was God? Because he saw the church was corrupt more. So he said, now the only way to clean the church is to bring this person who does not believe in me to clean up my house. So Bernard should stand up and lead us right on this platform. And I know many people are bitter about Bernard. Bernard always, when he sits, he laughs like he's Azimio. He doesn't know Azimio. What is Azimio spiritually? Azimio is a different thing. Now, also Kenya Kwanza is a different thing. Now, let me ask you a question, Alex. Muta akisema, ate mkiweka Oburu Odinga, amutaweza. Now, can't you analyze that statement? Then you begin going on street. Oburu Odinga ni ndugu wa Raila. Hata wakimuweka nitawabwaga. So to me, I only advocate.
Nataka nikukumbushe Bernard hayuko hapa. Sijui unaongea.
No kwa saya yuko.
Bernard.
No kwa saya yuko.
No, Bernard hayuko hapa. Bernard ako kwa channel lingine, labda unasikiza channel lingine. Bernard hayuko kwa Mtembei.
Okay, pole.
Mtembei. And Bernard hayuko katika.
Si nilikuwa na Alex ulikuanga huko.
Robert.
Tunaenda zote. Sisi ni wa Kenya, hatuna shida, lakini huko tukikatasha tusiende na tunarudi tu hapa mahali tunaambiwa tu mbali vile unaongea. Ungeongea hivi ukikuwa kule saa hii ungekuwa saa hii kama leo iko kijana mwingine huko anaita sijui ni keep alini block. Hata mimi nakuanga blocked nikiongea vile unaongea. So
sasa Robert,
yes,
hapa umeongea vizuri sana. Watu kama sisi, Bernard alishatufukuza kwa show yake kabisa, hatuwezi ingia pale. Na kama ni mhubiri, una ile spirit ya Mungu unafaa kutembea nayo. Wewe yes, kama mhubiri, hata neno lako ile unatamka unafaa inaweza kuwa lazima iambatane na jinsi you conduct your business as a Christian and a preacher. We are all Christian, yes, but there is a difference. There is a difference between the man in cloth and the congregant. Yeah, that is why I think he is missing the point. He is probably too much in politics. He thinks that politics, leadership, and the Bible are one and the same. It is totally different. Whatever that the Bible advocates is in the spiritual realm, and whatever politics advocates is what we we are living in hii dunia. Sasa wewe kama umesema wewe ni umeokoka na wewe ni mhubiri na unakandamiza watu, hiyo si haki, hiyo si haki. And the problem starts from there. Kwa hao mahubiri mapasta kama nyinyi, kuna wale mapasta waongo tena waovu, na lazima we call them out.
No, Mzalendo and Robert, since we are panelists, it is always unfair to call out a person when they are not there. And Mabolo, it will be fair.
Yes, please.
It will be fair because we are the mother channel. It will be fair for you to go and speak with Bernard openly than Bernard thinking that mimi na Mzalendo tulikuja hapa kuongea juu yake. Nobody. We were actually talking about Gusii Stadium. You brought the religious issues, which I think they are very emote sometimes. So when it comes to religious issues, I cannot and I will never at any point castigate Bernard because religion is personal. And even you, as you came here and you have told us, we don't know you. Vile ulitoka Uganda, ukakuja Kenya, ukaanzisha kanisa. Ni wewe tu umesema, mimi sikujui. Umetupea tu mada yako. Na sisi hatuwezi kuja hapa na tuseme hapana, sijui wewe ni Muganda, wewe Muganda hawezi ongea siasa ya Kenya. Hapana. Sisi tutakupa ruhusa na useme aje, nimeona hivi katika siasa za Kenya na kanisa. Na tutakubalia. Lakini kitu ambacho sijakubalia ni kuwa tuseme kuwa sijui Bernard nini iko kwa siasa leo.
No, I withdraw. Right. I withdraw. I withdraw.
You can withdraw.
Hold on, let me finish. It is unfair. Totally unfair. Hata ikuwe ni mimi, hata ikuwe ni wewe. Tutaje majina kwa sababu hata tunaambiwa hata yule anasema father, you know, it does not mean
unajua
let's
maliza Alex, unajua we una defend kitu iko.
No, I'm not defending anything that is not there, but I also don't want a war that is not also there.
There's no war.
No, when we
name Alex,
when we
name names,
Alex,
you can have an opinion without naming names.
Like we
Alex,
talk
let me correct myself.
We talk about Pastor Ezekiel. We talk about Pastor Ezekiel in this show. We talk about so many other pastors in this show. This guy has just given a narration and actually came blindly knowing that Bernard is part of this show. So
yes,
part of this show. That was an innocent opinion. It is not that we are gossiping or we are...
Where he goes wrong, and that is why I had to correct it, is because he believes Bernard is in this channel.
I saw that way because I didn't know that you have another channel. I didn't know.
So in that...
so I'm sorry if... I'm sorry.
He believed that he was in Bernard's channel and he wanted also to talk to Bernard. So I'm also saying
that's true.
He is not in Bernard's channel.
You are right, Alex. You are right.
And he is not addressing Bernard. So we don't want to be caught up in issues there whereby we want confusion.
Ideally, Robert, Bernard is in a show called Sound Candid. It's no longer here. It's no longer in Mutembei. It is in a different platform. This is Mutembei. The show that he used to be. He opened his other the church leaders, the way you do your
breakaway.
Yeah. So there's another breakaway.
Okay, I understand. Okay, Pole.
Okay.
Pole. I'm sorry.
No, it is okay. Alex, you don't really have to apologize.
Umeniingisha mpaka maneno magumu. Naambiwa
hapana.
Unaona, Robert, there are people who are concurring with you on the comment section saying you are so right and you are so on point with whatever you are saying about the person. So you are right. There is nothing wrong with what you have done. And the only thing is that we needed to have informed you that this is not the same show that used to be
I'll
there
go.
before.
Of
Yeah.
course, I've stayed around 6 months without being on air.
Oh yeah. That's the
Yes,
reason
that's
why.
why.
That is the reason why.
But during that time when we were having Marsabit sijui kujaza lori, hiyo unakumbuka hiyo time? Si mlikuanga pamoja mkijaza mambo ya Marsabit. That contribution. I remember that is when the time I was among. Yes, you remember that time.
Hiyo ni utapeli. Hiyo ni utapeli.
No, ngoja kidogo. Sijasema utapeli, but I'm reminding you that time when I was with you. I was following up during that time when you are making some contributions.
Wewe Robert ulijaza lori.
Mwingine wakati hayuko hapa na wewe.
Lori tulijaza.
Mimi wacha nikwambie.
Ulijaza lori. Alex pia alijaza hiyo lori.
No, wachana hiyo maneno, wachana maneno yako unataka kuleta.
So Alex, please.
Wachungaji, ikifika kwa wachungaji wote, niko na shida na wote, si mmoja.
Hata mimi.
Hata wewe vile umesema hivi. Kwani Uganda hakukuwa na watu ukakuja Kenya?
Si watu wako. Na mimi nimekuja hapa. But kukuja hapa,
alafu unatuambia PhD wa Kenya ni different kutoka wa Uganda. Sasa
goja Alex. Mimi nikiwa nina pass out tulikuwa anasema far away from home. Ningekuwa sijakuja huku, singejua vile huku kunakuwa. But Biblia inasema when you go to Greeks, behave like Greeks. Na nielewa? But saa hii mimi kama student of the Bible tulisoma kitu wanaita apologetics, defending Christian faith. That's why I will not attack any politician. I will go straight to a pastor, because a pastor have a chance to preach to a politician. If a politician will change, then the pastor should tell him in church, because that's a holy place. Now, because the churches have that greed of money, so when a politician come with na bahasa kubwa, hiyo ndiye anakaa mbele. Sasa huyo ndiye anakuwa sasa akona roho kubwa. Naona? Sasa that's the challenge we have. Otherwise, I'm very sorry for whatever has happened, Alex. Thank you for guiding me. I always follow up Mutembei. I always subscribe Mutembei. Mutembei TV nimekuwa sana kwa. Yes.
Robert, you don't have to.
Yes, please.
So, hapa unakuja kutoa maoni yako. Na maoni yako yanasikizwa. Na mimi nitakwambia yangu. You don't have to apologize. One thing I don't like people to apologize is because ukiwa na maoni yamekuleta, umetumia simu yako, umetumia data yako, na umetumia akili yako. So say it the way it is. Na sisi tutayachukulia. Sijakataa yote. Unaona, kama sasa hivi ingekuwa mimi singekutumia hiyo kikombe unatumia kukunywa chai. Labda ningetumia kikombe kingine. Lakini unapokutumia bado chai itaingia ndani. Na hata kwa comment section kuna watu wamekusupport. Na ni wengi kuliko. So don't apologize for your point of view. Kwa sababu sisi we are not supposed to be here as uniform. Si ati ni tumevaa uniform. So when you say kama mchungaji, tafadhali don't apologize. Kuna wengi wamekusikiza na wengi wamekubaliana na wewe, lakini kuna wengine hatujasikizana na wewe. Unaelewa?
Ukweli. Nimeelewa.
Sasa kama mchungaji unasimama kidete, unasema no, ni kwa sababu ya hii. Mara nyingi nasema hivi, tutakosana na wengi nikisema hivi. Lakini nasema tu, lakini kuna watakataa na kuna wengine watakubali. Siwezi toroka hapa kwa sababu watu wamekataa. Elewa? Kuna wengi
nimeelewa baba,
ni waoga ambao hawezi kuja waongee vile umeongea. So don't apologize for your views anytime.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. Yeah, let's go on.
Niko rafiki yako hapa anataka kusema kwa mzuri sana, anauliza Pastor Robert, unakula ugali na chai?
Yes, mimi nililelewa Kitale hapa, nilizaliwa Kitale, hiyo ndio ninakula.
Okay.
Mimi hata
nakula ugali na chai.
That's how we grew up.
Thank you for coming to that. Let me say something about that, Nani. You know, our religious leaders made a big mistake. And I think they set the whole train into motion, whereby I don't know when we will ever come to a point whereby you see where Robert started, which actually shook me was mimi ni mpasta, lakini nimeacha hata kwenda kanisani. Okay? Now, what I'm saying is this. Ikiwa sisi wenyewe wengine after sometimes tuliacha hata kwenda kanisani. Sasa hivi tena ndio tulianza kwenda kanisani. Wachungaji wamefika pia wamesema hawaendi kanisani kwa sababu wachungaji wengine waliharibu karma ama the doctrines of the church to a point that they saw that there is no need to. Mzalendo, how dangerous is that? That we got to a point that some of wachungaji made it difficult that even some of our own, pastors are not even going to church. Don't you think that was a dangerous, stepping stone that our pastors went through?
I mean, the issue of the church in Kenya is something that we can discuss throughout, and will never come with a solution that can help the church. Like Robert has said, let's leave it to theologians, people who have studied theology like himself, to give the guidance to the church. We started by, I remember about a few months ago, I was saying that if I had the opportunity and the power, I would unite all the churches. The one that I think the African indigenous churches, I would unite them to preach the word in one particular direction and have one particular church. The Catholic Church will remain the Catholic Church. PAG na hao wengine kina Pentecostal na nani, SDA, let them remain SDA. The issue of the church and spirituality is something that not even Robert can hack it. We don't. If you ask Robert today, have you been praying to the right God? It is just a belief that you're praying to the right God. It is just a belief that somebody in SDA is connected to a spiritual being. It is just a belief that the Catholics are connected to their God in a particular manner. But by and large, if you go out here where we are in the US, if you go to China, they have got Buddhism going on there. The Muslims don't have the same problem as our Christian brothers. They are not as greedy as the sheikhs are not as greedy as our pastors in churches, and they're all Kenyans. So it is our bringing as Africans that is putting the church in a corrupt manner. Robert, mimi ukiniuliza kanisa inafaa kuwa kanisa aina gani? Kanisa inafaa kuwa kanisa ambayo inasaidia watu ambao ni mamaskini. Ile sadaka mnapata kanisani, mnafaa kujengea wale wako chini kabisa. Unafaa kusaidia your congregates wale wana chakula ili wapate afueni kwa maisha yao. That is what the church should do. But if you are in a church that does not do that, then you are not walking in the spirit of God. Hapo hiyo tu ndio naweza sema. Kanisa ile ambayo haisaidii, kanisa ambayo iangalii maslahi ya congregates wake. Mtu anakuja kutoka mahali ametoka, ako na njaa, anakuambia Pastor Robert, leo naenda kulala njaa na watoto wangu. Uko na ile sadaka, mpatie hiyo sadaka na utapata baraka kwa hiyo kanisa yako. Hayo tu ndio naweza sema.
So mzalendo, acha niingilie hapo niseme hivi. Juzi nimesikia religious leaders wana condemn serikali juu gharama ya juu. Ukisoma James 1:27 inasema the only religion that God considers to be right is the one that looks at the orphans and the widows in their distress. So how many times umeona kanisa zetu kubwa zikijaza vitu zikisema hii Sunday tunapelekea watu kujengea watu Murang'a nyumba, tunajengea watu Turkana nyumba. Hao wanapokea tu. Na Yesu alisema go, that's what we call a great commission. He said go and preach to the people, giving them hope that I have gone, I will come back. Saa hii sisi wapasta tunaita tu watu. Unakuja Kasarani unaita watu Kenya yote wakuje. Na Yesu alisema we enda uone watu mahali wako. Kama mwenye ako Turkana analala njaa, ishi na yeye huko. Kaa na yeye huko. Ongea na yeye huko. Sasa mimi ninaona kama the church is only buying time. Na tungeandamana na kanisa, tungesema hii Sunday tuende tufunge kanisa ya Ng'ang'a. Tufunge hiyo yote. Hakuna kutoka, nyinyi mnafanya kitu gani hapa? Kesho ingine tuende kwa kanisa ya Ezekiel. Kesho ingine tuende. Na ukiamka hivi unaona wa lawyers wamesimama. Huyu ni mtu wa Mungu. Na kama ni mtu wa Mungu, kwa nini atekelezi katiba ya Mungu? Katiba yetu yenye tunafuata ni Bible. Sasa kama tunasema saa hii serikali haijafuata katiba, na wapasta gani wanafuata katiba kweli? Wanajengea wa mama, wanajengea wa maskini. Na Biblia yenyewe iliinstruct vizuri ikasema church leaders should contribute. Even Paul said in Colossians, akasema kila Sunday weka kitu kando, hiyo kitu mpelekee watu wenye wana kitu. So saa hii mimi kitu ninaona ni Mungu asaidie sisi. I know there is a transformation coming. I know there is something coming very soon. Mtaona kanisa watu tutagoma sisi wa pastor. Wenye kama tuko wengi. Mimi naweza kuwa niko nyumbani hapa leo na tuko na mwingine ako mahali. Sisi wa pastor wenye wamekataa kwenda church, tutagoma. Na tutauliza polisi ikupatie ruhusa tuende maandamano ya amani. Na hiyo maandamano tutaanza tukaangalie kanisani kwa one on one. Thank you very much and God bless you. May have God.
Asante sana Robert kwa hayo maneno, na ni maneno ya busara sana kwa wale mapasta matapeli na makanisa kubwa yale wanazingatia mali wanazingatia kuchukua sadaka ili wajinafsishe, lakini sio kusaidia wale wanaumia, wale wako na shida ya njaa in society. Your appeal goes to the SDA Church, to the Catholic have been doing a good job and supporting some homes.
Mzalendo nimesahau kitu moja. Tuko na 10% yenye Mungu alisema kila mchungaji apate kwa mshirika. Mwenye anapata milioni 1 ana 10% yake ni ngapi mzalendo?
Milioni 1 ni 100,000.
100,000. Sasa wewe ukipata milioni 1 ya Kenya unaniletea mimi Robert milioni 100,000, si ndio? Sasa kama mko 10 mnaleta ngapi? Si ni milioni 1 out of hiyo 10 million.
Yes.
Sasa hiyo 10% hao wachungaji wanapelekanga wapi?
Hiyo 10% ndio wanajenga nazo manyumba, palatial homes, ndio wanajenga manyumba ile iko na swimming pool, ndio wananunua magari za VX, na ndio wananunua mashamba, na ndio wananunua airtime ya kueneza injili ili watu masadaka iongezeke.
Okay, sawa. Sasa tuko kwa 10% peke yake. Na hiyo offerings na fast fruit na hii yenye wanasema sowing the seed, ukiwa maybe umepona ulete seed, unaweza leta gari yote. Hizo vitu zote ukiround pamoja zinakuwa percentage ngapi? Na sasa hii tukiongelea percentage yenye serikali imeweka, tunaona kama sisi wachungaji tunaona kama hiyo serikali imeweka mzigo kwa watu. Na hiyo 10% na offerings na vitu zingine si mzigo. Na watu wajengei so
tena ni mzigo kubwa zaidi.
Sasa Biblia inasema kama hujaona kitu mbaya kwa macho ya serikali, angalia macho yako kwanza. Yesu ndiye alisema hivyo. Sasa sisi wachungaji tuangalie kwanza. Hii 10% tunapewa inafanya kazi yenye Yesu alisema? Juu Biblia inasema leta chakula kwa nyumba yangu ndio tusikue na njaa. Sasa hii 10% ukinisikia juzi Ezekiel ako na akaunti 4. Hizo akaunti 4 zimejaa pesa. Hiyo pesa inasaidia nani? Juu watu wako na njaa na watu wote ni Wakristo. Sasa tungekuwa kila Sunday wameweka sufuria pale ya watu kukula, ama watoto wa street wangekuwa kila church imesema hii kijiji yangu watoto wa street wakuje wakule, nunue unga gunia mzima aweke mfanyakazi wa kupikia au uji. Hiyo kitu
Unajua Robert, sahii kanisa
inafanyikana. So church ndio imerobo.
tumepoteza Robert hapo, but huo ni pastor alikuwa na maneno ya busara sana akituelezea jinsi kanisa imekuwa ni kanisa ya watapeli, Kanisa pia imekuwa ni kanisa ya entertainment. Ni mahali unaenda kila Sunday ama Saturday kupata neno la entertainment ama kucheka na upate roho ujifurahishe, but by and large kanisa zote, majority 99% of the churches in Kenya, they don't do the right thing. They are concentrating on wealth, building schools, schools which are very, very expensive. You can't even afford a school built by the church. They are running so many other institutions, including university colleges, and these are profit-making enterprises that the church has started. They diverted from seeking the souls to God's kingdom to looking for the worldly wealth. And that is why we have a problem in our society. You find the church leaders are looking for positions in government. We will find the church leaders are the ones who are actually charging the congregants a lot of money, even to conduct weddings, even to conduct burials. Today, your pastor will be charging you, or you have to pay for him to conduct a wedding. A few years back, this was something that was done for free by the church, but today it comes with a cost. I don't know whether it is the cost of living or why, or society has just become very, very greedy. It is up to you, panelists, to look into this. And as we scrutinize our politicians, let us also look at the church today, because the church is also being accused as aiding the government. It also helps form the government of the day, because the numbers that are in our churches are easily manipulated by the politicians. They are easily manipulated by the leadership. Uliona wakati wa siasa, bahasha zilikuwa zinatembea kwa makanisa. Those were regarded as a form of manipulations and bribes. So society has really, really changed. If you have a church that you attend every Sunday and they are not helping the needy, they are not doing anything in society, all they do is to open their doors on Sunday and collect tithe and offering and give you hope, thinking that ukiombewa utapata kazi. Hizo ni uongo. Kazi lazima uamke asubuhi uende industrial utafute kibarua. You need to send applications out there so that you can get a job. A pastor will not pray for you and you are seated at home na kazi utapata. You have to do your due diligence and do what you are supposed to do. So that is a problem that we are having in Africa in general. In Africa in general, you've seen a clip going around saying that we Christians are praying to the white Jesus with blue eyes. That is something that has been going around, and people are following. Things are changing towards the end of times, as prophesied in the Bible. But you and whatever you believe in, that is up to you. Me and whatever I believe in, that is up to me. Me, I believe there is a supreme God somewhere there. I don't have to connect to a pastor to connect to him. I need just to pray because God is understanding. He created us in His own image. And if you go in Europe, you are called a monkey. So that means that God is a monkey. That clip has been going around, that God is a monkey. If a white man sees you as black, as stupid, and again, he's a preacher, and we prophesy that we preach that God created us in his own image. So there's no superior being. So if black is stupid, then it means God is stupid. So if white is superior, then it means that the white God is superior. That is the way it is. That is how I look at it. So issues of the church and the Bible are issues that we don't really want to touch because we have got all different understanding and all different beliefs and all different churches selling their doctrines to us. So it is up to you to follow what you believe in. So that is matters of the church. We are watching Tembei TV. We have done almost 4 hours now, 3.5 hours. I think it is time for me to go. And thank you guys who have been with me throughout the show. Alex was here. I hope he's still in the background. Will come and say the last word. Black, unfortunately, you might not find us in the show unless you want to come in and continue from where we have left. Karibu sana. Beatrice, asante sana for being on the comment section. And Nelson Meli, read Corinthians 1:3-18. Tutasoma hiyo. Yegon, kama kawaida, you are tuned and locked in. We want you in the show next time to give us those beautiful comments that you put out there. Asanteni sana. Nani mwingine? Geoffrey Ruto kama kawaida. Geoffrey, yes, Alex has been consistent unless he doesn't understand himself. Oh, Alex, that was meant for you from Geoffrey Ruto. Geoffrey Ruto, asante sana for always keeping us locked and keeping the commentary section engaged. Cornerstone, asante sana, says Alex, keeps on shifting. Alex will answer you at some point. Who else? Who else? Who else am I forgetting? Those who have been earlier with us in the show, asante sana pia. Georges, you are on tour. Haya, asante sana. Naona mwingine ameweka madola hapa, bado ni huo George. Asante sana Cornerstone, asante Cornerstone. Albert Bunge, Albert, asante sana. If it means people talking bullshit instead of talking about funds who are in Gusii Stadium over 30,000, I have seen that. The Shabana Club is good. Yeah, that we have talked about Geoffrey. We have talked about football. We have talked about the development of soccer. If you want me to go back to football and the structures of football. Football is a curriculum. We need parents to embrace football as a curriculum. If there is anything that is working in tribalism in Kenya, then we should take tribalism in sports. Kila kabila iwe na timu yake na ligi yake so that we have the fanaticism that comes with the game. So with fanaticism, there's also revenue. So when you look at football and sports tourism. We earlier on in the show we talked about how hotels were booked in Gusii and beyond because of the game between Shabana and Kisumu Allstars. Congratulations, Shabana FC, once again for winning the Super League. You are now promoted to the FKL League. We know that this will bring a lot of revenue to the county of Gusii when the teams are coming to play in Gusii town, Gusii Stadium. But more so, Nick Mwendo, the chairman of FKF, we need all the teams in the league to have structures such that when they are absorbed to play in the FKF league, they also have a junior league that is running concurrently, that is played by these other teams. That is the only way we'll have a strong Harambee Stars. Albert, I hope I've answered you. Nelson Meli, asante sana for being locked in the show. Who else? Geoffrey, yep. Edwin Sakwa. Wambani, asante sana, I've seen your comment. Amisi Katana, asante sana. Asante sana, Mr. GG, asante sana. R2 Reality TV, asante sana. The next time kuja na TV station yako kwa show. Jarongo, Erokamano for being part of the show. Erokamano for talking about me throughout the show. Asante sana, Jarongo. Next time come to the show and face me. Who else? Julius, asante sana. Viewers and listeners, wherever you are, asante sana kwa kujumuika nami na Alex, who was earlier on. I think ameenda kuchukua tamba la maji. Thank you very much. Thank you Mtembei TV. Thank you True TV 24. Please log into True TV 24. That is our new baby channel. You need to log in, bonyeza hiyo True TV hapo, subscribe. We'll be having other informative talk shows also on True TV. Next week, we are inviting somebody who is a specialist in matters of IT, so that we can inform our youth about information technology and where the world is moving. We will be putting that up on True TV, where we can talk about technology, talk about the jobs that are being offered in the internet, the jobs that are being offered in IT, that you can work remotely for companies in the US, in Canada, and you do service support from your village where you are, bora uko na internet. So those are the things that you need to be locked in this particular show. Not every day we'll be talking about politics. Sometimes we will be off, talk about education, talk about the courses that you need to do. As somebody who has just finished his Form 4 and is looking for a particular course, keep it locked. I'm talking to somebody who is a specialist in IT, who is running a college, and he can train you. You can graduate from his college, and he will direct you on the kind of courses you need to take. Otherwise, thank you very much once again. See you tomorrow and adios. Karibu sana kesho. Kuwa na asubuhi njema. Kwa wale wanaenda kulala Marekani, kuweni na usiku mwanane. Otherwise, asanteni sana.